Excellent. Looking forward to the first fight, man. I think it's going to be a cracker.
Welcome to the 2018 IMMAF Africa Open semi-finals day, coming to you from Brakpan in Johannesburg, South Africa. We have 9 fights on the card today. We have bouts from flyweight all the way up to middleweight today. We were supposed to have a couple more fights, but a few guys didn't make weight or got pulled.
Yeah,
but 9 good fights coming. There's a couple in here that I'm quite excited about. A couple of fights I'm really looking forward to watching.
I'm going to tell you out front, Jay, fight number 3. I watched this guy last year. Almanatap, I think is how you pronounce it.
Abdul Manap. Yeah. Abdul Manap.
Man, it's... It's going to be amazing.
And that was my call for probably the weight division to watch, because he's in that division and so is Nkosi Ndebele. But let's get the action started. Welcome to the 2018 IMMAF Africa Open Day 2, semi-finals day. Let's kick off the action in the flyweight division. First out to the corner from Bahrain, Mohammed Al-Mamari.
Where's the Vaseline guy? Catman.
So our first fight of the day in the flyweight division is the first man up is from Bahrain.
Mohammed Al-Mamari.
Yep. He's going to be facing Jordan Chetty, who we know quite well in the flyweight division.
We do. Jordan Chetty, somebody who comes to fight. Jordan Chetty never, ever fails to deliver. It's going to be an interesting fight, just having a look at the physicality. And again, not a lot known about each of the individuals. There's a handful of the internationals we've seen before, Jason, that ring through our minds. I haven't seen Mohammed before. But the Bahrain team, an amateur side that is funded and trains as if they were a full-out, all-day, all-week, all-month, all-year professional outfit.
Yeah, so I saw a lot of that team in at the last Brave event in Indonesia. A lot of them competed on that event, and all of them trained together. The pros, the amateurs. Their team captain competed at that event as well, and in his corner he had the Prince of Bahrain and the father of Khabib Nurmagomedov. So I'm sure you could have worse people in your corner.
So low pedigree guys, yeah. And we all know that the Prince recently won his boxing match. So these guys it's a passion of the royal family, and the Prince is driving it the whole time. And again this year, World Championships will be held in Bahrain, the second year in a row since the move from Vegas. I think that's fantastic. It's giving quite a global scope to it.
And also it shows, if you look at the development of the fighters that they've pushed out, if you look at the guys that are now competing on the pro circuit, the guys that are competing in the amateurs, at Africa's, at Worlds, the level of the fighters is just increasing exponentially every month.
No, absolutely fantastic. We've seen them before. We've seen this team. We know this team. They were the first ones to register to be back here in South Africa, and I'm looking forward to this. And as Mohammed enters the ring.
Next into the cage, out of South Africa, Jordan Chetty.
Well, as you say, Jordan Chetty, and great to see the whole South African team lined up, waiting to walk him in. Jordan Chetty has probably, for me, out of that whole South African side, got the biggest heart. We've seen him in fight stars here in South Africa, where all the odds were against him, and he was getting absolutely destroyed.
No, we saw him get smashed for 3 rounds. And he fought out of arm bars. He fought out of submissions. He has got a massive heart in such a small kid.
And he's developed. Every time we've seen him, he's got... And not marginally better, Jason. He's got leaps and bounds better. This is a kid that I believe has a bright future in the sport.
Well, this is our first fight of the day, as we said, in the flyweight division. The winner of this will go through to the final tomorrow. It's a lot on the line for these guys, especially the guys. I mean, the guys from Bahrain. It's a long way for them to travel. They are here. They do want to compete. They do want to go home with medals.
Absolutely, understand. It's Ramadan, so for these guys, it's a little bit different. So. On top of fasting, they're still here. They had opportunity not to be here. They were the first country to register, and they sent a full squad.
And then obviously for Jordan, Team South Africa on home soil. It is the Africa Open here on Africa Day on Friday.
There's pride at stake.
So there's pride at stake, and they want to keep that home field advantage. They want to show people how they've developed since the last Africa Open. The tournament has developed exponentially, and I think the fighters have to.
Let's talk about it for a sec. Let's talk about the development of the tournament. Yesterday we saw, for me, my pick in the middleweight division shockingly lose. Dimitri Folk for me was my pick in that division, and
And Sohaib Dahmani definitely came out as one to watch now after that fight.
He's now my favourite. And he's got a big ass today. He's fighting Riyad Pandey a little bit later from South Africa. So Jordan Chetty has the opportunity to open up and put South Africa back in the driving seat. If this was a team competition and team points were counting, South Africa currently doing extremely well. Jordan Chetty has the first opportunity of the day to move that ahead. And then what I've noticed is the team, they fight and they go straight back to help the next guys. An incredible camaraderie. Great rousing applause for Jordan Chetty. I'm looking forward to this.
Well, let's get things started.
Jordan Chetty in a southpaw stance, bouncing around quite comfortably, looks focused. Mohammed, just feeling out, moving around nicely, light on his toes.
You can
Jordan
see
Chetty
feeling him out. Nice body
Jordan
kick.
Chetty read that. He got his arms down in time, but it's a warning. It's a warning that he's going to have a lot of switch kicks. And again, feints the kick. Jordan Chetty throwing one of his own, just missing.
Now, both of these guys not rushing in. They're not taking any chances, not doing anything irresponsible.
Great cover by Jordan Chetty. Nice 1-2 combination from Mohammed that Jordan Chetty saw and got the hands up.
Oh,
he gets
eight
clipped with a left hook.
left there. Very explosive is Mohammed. He stays, keeps his range, but once he goes, he goes.
Absolutely. He's at the moment just touching. He's just touching for range at the moment. And, nicely done, Jordan Chetty. So, Mohammed looking for the head kick. Jordan Chetty stepping in and countering. Fantastic. He needs to start landing some shots now.
No, he's looking very apprehensive.
Got kicked under the legs and swept. And this is the kind of fight we know Jordan Chetty for. It's becoming a brawl. And again, the experience of the Bahrainian team. He stepped back out to calm the situation.
No, he's very composed. Doesn't
Chetty
charge
nice
him, but when he commits, he commits.
Jordan Chetty's hands are starting to drop. He's looking, he's smiling, he's looking. That's his type of fight, Jay. We've seen Jordan Chetty, and a brawl is Jordan.
Nice
his
inside
kicks
leg
are
kick.
incredible. And another one. I'm sure the crowd can hear that, and the fans on the mic. That was incredible power.
Lots of kicks. Mohammed's got some very snappy kicks, and you can hear them. I mean, they echo through the stadium.
It does, but that left cross is it's clearly landed his mark. Mohammed blinking and a little bit more tentative now. There's a bit of power in that hand of Jordan's. Nice little overhand, unfortunately just missing. But he may be attacking off the wrong hand on the counter from the kick.
No, he should be stepping in and throwing the left.
100% correct. And the takedown attempt from Mohammed, and a takedown
nice
execution.
Takedown.
Jordan scrambles into a great position.
Very quick from Jordan Chetty. Oh, it looked like a knee to the head.
It was close. I'm looking at there, and it was very close. Jordan Chetty should be throwing left cross, right hook because it's open.
Even a lead left is something that most of the guys are not going to see. And you can see attempted one there, but didn't commit to it.
Especially the fact that he is, great right jab in the southpaw position, just so the people at home know what we're talking about. Southpaw position is the right hand forward as opposed to the left hand.
Yeah, and something that is taught very much in boxing when you have a southpaw and an orthodox fighter is to keep your front leg on the outside. Whoever's got their foot on the outside is winning, and Mohammed is doing that a lot more than Jordan is. Jordan stepping into the hand, and I think that's why he's getting countered quite a bit more.
The other concern I've got, we saw a little low kick earlier drop Jordan to the ground, and for me, the concern was that his feet are crossing as he moves, and you'll see that often, and which means he's squared up, and there is no base for any kind of shot. Another good little uppercut. Mohammed round ends. I'm going to go 10-9 round there, in my opinion, to Mohammed. He's composed.
Definitely the busier fighter as well.
Jordan's sucking air already, and you'll see the Bahrainians always take the opportunity to hit to take a seat as opposed to standing.
There you can see both corners talking to their fighter, keeping them calm. I think Jordan is definitely breathing a bit heavier of the two at the moment.
Yeah, and again, Jordan's first really big opportunity. Fight loss is massive, but this is for your country. This is the green and gold, and every sportsman wants to don that shirt. And he has the opportunity. Nerves, adrenaline, it's all happening. Hopefully
and also
the second round he'll be
competing
more
against an international opponent, which is different from most guys that haven't competed on an international platform.
And it's a quality international opponent. The Bahrainian team are not here to play games. They are here to make their mark. We saw that. It's snappy kicks, it's snappy punches, a lot of movement here on their toes.
And a lot of combinations. It's not just one punch and step back. They're throwing, punches and punches, throwing kicks afterwards.
Let's mention this elephant in the room. The Bahrainian team has a lot of Russians in that side. So their wrestling and their takedowns are quality. So a lot of naturalized Russians, based on the fact that the two countries have quite a good governance between them. And we'll be seeing that in fight 3. Round 2 underway. Shireen Strauss gets us off.
could see again both fighters just feeling each other out, not overcommitting, not rushing into anything.
For me, Muhammad looks the more patient.
And there's that lead left that I was talking about.
And
As soon as you eat the kick, throw the lead left.
And it landed. There's a little nick on the nose there of Muhammad, and if Jordan can put another one or two of those in there, we could see some change here.
But now again is the time where he can't just keep throwing the same punch. He now also needs to throw combinations and keep the lead left as a surprise punch.
If nothing else, Jordan Chetty is tough as nails because those 3 body kicks in a row and he is still going forward.
I think if he can get to the point where he's stepping outside the front foot and then throwing the left, just to give him a bit of leverage so that he's always stepping into the punch as opposed to the switch that he does.
But that switch isn't working. He's getting caught on it every time. Somebody in his corner needs to bring that to his attention. Exactly. He's not fighting for the outside.
Big shot landed.
Coming in. Chetty's game, but he's literally a
power punch because he's stepping onto the wrong foot. He's not pushing his weight through the front leg, so the left could land a lot harder than what it is.
Boxing, he's not,
and he's not transferring weight.
His neck is there.
Either.
Right. If Jordan he gave up the opportunity for the guillotine, I think it's there. Nope. And Muhammad is now past guard. Side control. Jordan's been told very good instruction by his team
He's
to
got him back
release
into
the
half
arm.
guard.
Yep, managed to get back to half guard. Looking for full guard. I'm listening to the corner on my left here, and Coach JD is giving great instruction, and Jordan's listening. I think that's absolutely critical. It's easy to hear the instruction, a little bit more difficult to follow through. But there's that Russian wrestling we talk about. He is pinned flat. He is not getting the opportunity to be able to get the underhook. The left underhook should now be slipped in and come out the left-hand side. That would be the jiu-jitsu escape. But the wrestling is amazing. And here we see it again, almost into a crucifix position if he had rolled him. Could be looking for that armbar.
Yeah, it looks like it's in. It looks like
it's there. Jordan Chetty will
got a long time to fight.
We know that. We know this kid. That was never on for Jordan Chetty.
That's great toughness to get out of the armbar and to get the reversal.
I'm going to do it. I don't care what his team at home call him. That is Jordan Spider-Man Chetty. He managed to web sling his way out of that. That was amazing. And he's in a great position. He has 30 seconds. He can dominate the rest of this round and potentially claw it back.
And we've seen him do this before. We've seen him, fight out of these submissions that look like they're just going to absolutely smash him. But he manages to keep fighting out of them.
Spider-Man's doing his thing. Jordan Chetty, armbar back on. And he's still in it. He will not tap.
Got the armbar again.
Jordan will, and he's out of it again. It's amazing. Jordan Chetty is the toughest kid in the sport that I know currently.
Yeah, I don't know where he gets his escapes from. I mean, he
and he's
just
smiling.
pulls
It's
them
amazing.
out everywhere.
Nice. That there is going to leave something in the mind of Muhammad, I think. Again, I'm going to give the round to Muhammad, a lot more dominant. But I'm keen to see third round because
Jordan's got some work to do here in the third round.
He's going to need to finish
win this one.
He's going to need to finish this. But to be fair to Jordan, that was a lot better than round. He gets on top. He's actually dangerous.
Yeah.
He's dangerous. He was landing 1 or 2 hammer fists, and then when he couldn't, he got up and he threw kicks to the legs and the body, which is completely legal. And that's good coaching because his corner was screaming it and he was acknowledging.
But I think also what he needs to do is just increase the amount of combinations he's throwing. He needs to throw a lot more, and also he needs to set on his feet. The switch and the step into it is where the problem is, because you lose the power. You lose the power in the punches. You're not throwing from your hip.
Effectively throwing 2 jabs.
And you're not throwing from your hips.
You're throwing a left and right jab.
If you're going to throw power punches, you want to drive them from the hip into the back and then throw the power forward. If you're switching your feet, none of that is actually coming through.
Like we said earlier, you need to sit into the punch. Drive your hip and your weight through the shoulder. Jordan Chetty's got 3 minutes to change his entire destiny here and move on to a final tomorrow. To fight for a medal, a gold or silver medal tomorrow. At the moment, I've got Muhammad going through, but you know what? I've seen stranger things happen.
Well, this is the round for it all. Jordan Chetty has to do it. All Muhammad needs to do here is stay away, stay on the outside, do what he's been doing, and just win the round.
The takedown from Jordan to start the round smelt a little bit desperate. It was arms open, head down, and lovely little reversal onto the cage there by Jordan Chetty. Gets reversed back.
Now, both of these guys are definitely not leaving anything behind here.
Big
they are
takedown by
working
Muhammad.
hard.
You know, I've always said, being a heavyweight competitor myself, I like to think we bring the show. But these guys are amazing. There's no quarter asked, no quarter given. Amazing fight so far.
Guys like to watch heavyweights, but in my opinion, the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world is a flyweight in Mighty Mouse Johnson.
You and I will agree to disagree on that because I don't believe he is. Can't even get a share of the pay-per-view. Moving on, Jose Shorty Torres is in there now. Let's see what happens. Things are going to change, but this is a great fight. Jordan again is getting big shots eaten, and he is still in it. He's got 2 minutes, and you'll hear JD has so much experience as a coach that he's talking time, he's talking turning, he's talking what the opponent's doing on top. You could be blind and fight with a coach like JD in your corner. You would know everything that's happening. Jordan is trying to implement, but that the hips are so heavy at the moment from Muhammad.
No, Muhammad's wrestling has been very good, but
And
Jordan
there comes
has been
Jordan.
good. And there he goes for the reversal, but gives up his back. He's in trouble here.
And again, he's
The
fighting
hooks
through.
are in.
Hooks in, but you'll notice he hasn't managed to get the seatbelt, and he's not deep enough. That's not under the chin, it's on the chin, and Jordan turns. He's turning the right way. He needs to keep turning. He stopped.
It
This,
looks like
I can't see if it's under the chin from here. I don't think. And again, no, it's not. And Jordan
not under the
Chetty.
chin.
No, and Jordan Chetty will live there all day. That kid is tough. He's not panicking. He knows it's not in. He's listening to his corner. An adjustment from Muhammad. A big adjustment. Perhaps it's enough. He's got his jaw down. He's still breathing.
Yeah, he should actually get that body triangle in so that he sucks more of the energy out of it. He hasn't closed it in. He's
Correct.
not putting any pressure on it.
No.
It's close, but he's not putting the right amount of weight onto it.
Look, the other thing is Jordan's doing what we call fighting 2-to-1, 2 hands against 1, and he's out. He's still in the position, but he's out of the choke.
Yeah, Muhammad's working here. Only 38 seconds left in the
I
fight.
thought Jordan
so
was going to go for that little sneaky armbar that I've seen from being in a choke, where the securing arm gets pulled over, and you physically armbar through.
he's
your
twisting
elbow.
out.
He is, but time. We've got 25 seconds. If
Muhammad,
Jordan doesn't
Muhammad
anything,
does very well in the scramble there as well, just to get it back into the same position.
this is Jordan's first big event, and he has not been embarrassed. And again, I've seen stranger decisions, but I'm currently saying that Muhammad will be fighting in the final tomorrow. 10 seconds left. Jordan Chetty, do your thing, son. Go and enjoy your last few moments.
Good showing by Jordan. A lot of toughness, a lot of fight showing.
I'm
But
impressed.
what a show by Muhammad. I mean, he's come out and done exactly what he needed to do to move on to the next round.
Muhammad's going to be questioning a few things, though. He doesn't want to fight another southpaw. He was exposed over that the overhand left twice. He wasn't fighting for the outside. Jordan just wasn't fighting either. So it was allowing it to be a natural standoff. Jordan Chetty, for me, this kid's got a bright future. I'd like to see him back at Fight Stars. I'd like to see how he develops going forward. The experience from this is just going to stand him in earnest. I talk like it's over, but I've seen stranger decisions on stranger nights.
Well, there you can see the medic again, just having a look at both fighters before the corner comes in, making sure everything's fine. No one's got any injuries that could stop them.
They're just exhausted.
They just
9 minutes of action. This fight didn't have a single lull in it.
No, these guys came to leave everything behind in the cage.
Every
They
time I
left
thought I could
it
breathe.
all in there.
Jay, every time I thought I could breathe, somebody landed something. So I'm absolutely impressed. So we have Shireen Strauss in there. I think she may even be the first woman reffing in Africa, All Africa. I think that's a bit of history and a good debut by her. Again, all referees, all judges have to go through the IMMAF training and the IMMAF qualification process. And at the end of the day, the quality of people that IMMAF ensures at these events are at world-class level. We're just awaiting the official announcement, the official result card.
And we go all 3 rounds and we go to the judges. Your winner by unanimous decision from the blue corner, Muhammad.
And Bahrain takes the win. Unanimous decision, 30-29. I think it's a good call at 30-29. I think Jordan definitely was not embarrassed. Team South Africa, head up. We're coming out again. Well done, Team Bahrain. It's what we expect from you guys. You guys have done it before. You're doing it again. Awesome to see that the sport's growing like it is.
Yeah, very, very good fight. Again, great showing by the team. That the fighters came out here very prepared. He did exactly what he needed to do. His ground game, his wrestling was very good. His hips were very heavy. His striking was good through a lot of combinations. So, again, a fighter that's going to have to be watched tomorrow in the finals, and he's going to be going for a gold medal tomorrow.
Absolutely. Be interesting to see who the opponent is there. Just having a look at the card here. But he's in for a big fight. You're fighting for a gold medal. It's an international event. It is on the calendar as one of the 5 big international events. So for me, that's absolutely critical that he takes today's experience and moves his feet a bit more, Muhammad.
Yeah.
And again, his combos were great, but they were the same combos. He may not have the opportunity tomorrow to do that. Finals day, Jay, you've been at a finals day, so have I. things are different. No fighter is the same on finals day as he was in the tournament.
And also, the pressure of going for the gold medal representing your country changes everything. Like a fight for a quarterfinal, semi-final, yes, it means a lot. You're representing your country, but when you know the gold is on the line, things change. The adrenaline changes. The fight changes. Everything that happens in the cage happens faster. The adrenaline is pumping more when you walk in.
I was very fortunate to be part of that team in 2016 that went across and we fought in Vegas, and it was a phenomenal experience. Rudy Roots, unbeaten in his amateur career, unbeaten in his professional career. There was a change in him on finals day. He was a different human being. He became an animal that morning. He didn't want to know anybody. He switched, and the killer came out. And we all joked with him. We walked to the venue from the hotel, and we joked with Rudy Roots, and he wouldn't even answer us. And we all said, Rudy, don't let this change you. And afterwards, he was the same guy. When he secured the gold, he switched back. But something changed in him, which I now see in his pro career. This is the greatest platform for it, because this teaches you to kill or die. Ultimately, as in terms of sports analogies, you kill or die.
And it's also, what is it going to take to switch you on, which is the issue that a lot of fighters have, is the switch on at the right time, at the right place. Do you switch on when the fight starts? Do you do it too early and then you get the adrenaline dump in the back, and that's an issue? Do you switch on too late and you're already a round in and you've lost a round in the fight? So all of these things, especially in a tournament like this, helps you prepare and get you ready for it.
Absolutely. And we have amateur events all year in various promotions in South Africa, but there is nothing as intense as this, because we all seem to know each other here. We all understand who's fighting who. This is the unknown, and to be able to adapt in the cage is probably the best preparation to becoming a professional fighter that you'll ever have.
And then also, like we say, the added pressure of representing your country. It's not just for you. It's not just about a fight for yourself, as it is in most amateur tournaments. Here you are wearing the colors of your country, and that comes with added pressure, but added pride, and that can go either way. It can either hurt you or help you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about it. You've got to make weight every day. You've got to go to the medicals every day. You can't leave. Mohammed cannot leave now and hypothetically go to the local McDonald's and go and put 5 burgers in. Not going to happen. He physically now has to get to the back. He's got to prep with the rest of his team, and then he's got to start mentally prepping for tomorrow.
Fight 2, we are now in the bantamweight division, calling out your first competitor from Bahrain, Hamza Zrira.
Jay? Oh, so your mic goes on and this one goes off. I'm talking to myself. Hamza Zrira, we know.
Yeah, we've seen him fight.
We've seen him before, and
times.
He can fight. An aggressive fighter at this weight category. A very aggressive fighter. But again, Team Bahrain. That's what we expect from them. So Hamza, we saw last year, did very well, and we've seen him in and around and seen some of his training stuff. And again, this team just trains as if there was no tomorrow. So we're expecting we know he's fit enough for 3 rounds. We know he's strong enough not to go 3 rounds. We know he's technical enough not to go 3 rounds, but he can.
Yeah, a lot of Team Bahrain competing today. We have quite a number of their athletes competing today at the Africa Open. So it's almost as if we have. Two countries fighting against each other in Bahrain and South Africa. They'll be the bigger ones at the moment. So we've got Bahrain versus Cameroon here in the bantamweight division. One of the guys from Cameroon. We've seen these, again, very big, very muscular, typical of Cameroon and DRC kind of fighters.
Yeah.
And always tough, good judo, good throws. Again, very big, very physical guys.
And generally quite fit, but because they're generally a lot more muscular, there's always that question mark. We saw it in a fight yesterday with one of the guys where after round 1 he was completely gassed. Yet he still managed to generate enough power to sweep a man off his feet without any backlift.
Yeah, these guys, again, the Cameroonian guys are just immensely strong and heavy.
Yeah, very. Hamza Zrira now making his way into the cage.
And his opponent fighting out of Cameroon, Zunia Yannick Ronix.
And there's that support again. It's amazing. It's like the local Cameroonian community just they know when their people are here.
Yeah, and it is Africa Day as well today.
Oh, happy Africa Day to everybody!
Which also helps for the African fighters. They're fighting for just more than their own country. They're fighting for all of Africa at the Africa Open.
That is a very focused individual that's just walked out there. He went past his supporters. They're all sitting. They've got great seats. They've made sure to be through the walkout. And I can tell you something. As he went past, they all touched him on his shoulders, and that chest of his just puffed up. And
He
the 61 kilos.
tall, lanky fighter. If you look at his build,
Yeah, not what we used to from the Cameroonians. Cameroonians and Central African in general are strong, physical guys. So we can still expect the same level of power.
Yeah.
And
just because he looks a bit more lanky than the rest, the power is definitely not going to be
We
there.
have learned. We've learned.
See there, everyone's just going through the medical checks, going through Vaseline, going through all the prep to get into the cage.
Taping up the
And,
glove positions.
He looks very focused.
I must tell you, it is imperative that people understand just how focused on safety IMMAF is. I went through these protocols and I saw fighters pulled through the rounds for various things. For suspected concussion, for hematomas, for staph infection, for all sorts of things. It didn't matter. Your safety and the safety of your opponents came first.
And again, everyone needs to remember, as much as the level here is high, it's still an amateur tournament. And
Absolutely.
the number one thing about these amateur tournaments is making sure the guys get to experience it and come back and fight another day. And that's the big part of why safety is such a big issue.
Going to be an interesting fight, this one. We know a little bit about Hamza, as I said earlier, but we know nothing about Yannick. And that's always fun. We get to see new things all the time. Going through his pre-fight rituals. So we talk about IMMAF's pre-fight rituals, the Vaselining, the tape. But let's talk about some of the fighters, superstitions. And I've seen it, and I have one of my own, which I'll get to in a minute. But these guys come up the stairs, they do their prayers. We saw Hamza do his prayer at the top of the stairs. We saw Yannick now come in and slam on the ground. In fact, very much like some of the professionals here out of the Congo, they like to slam their foot down. It's an
Intimidation tactic, yeah.
Yeah, and here we go. I'm looking forward to this.
There you can see
Yannick
both
switches
fighters
feet
feeling each other
immediately.
out again.
Yannick went from a orthodox to southpaw. Looks like he might have a bit of a karate background from that stance, but again,
Very wide stance as well.
Yeah, very, very, very.
Feeling each other out, not rushing into anything. Again, a lot of these
Nice
guys have never
inside leg
seen
kick
each other
from Yannick.
before, don't know what the styles are of their opponent. So the first couple of seconds in the round tells you a lot about the guy you're fighting.
Correct, it's a reaction time. So you throw one or two feints, and big outside leg kick by Hamza.
Yeah, immediate switch from Yannick. I think he felt that and then switched back again.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that at this level. But and another one. He's going to work that leg and straight to the head with a question mark kick. That was fantastic. Hamza back to the leg.
Lots of kicks
It's
here.
a
by
great
Hamza.
strategy. He's making Yannick want to drop his hands, and then ow!
And also
switches
because
for the
Yannick's
kick.
got such a wide stance, it's a lot more difficult for him to pull that leg out the way. You know, if
Correct.
your stance is a bit narrower and you're balanced on both feet, you can lift the leg very quickly. With a
Well,
wide
we-
stance like that, it's a lot more
We
hard.
just won the last exchange that that Hamza landed a left and a right kick because of that stance. And
There
there's
you
the
can
right
see it
kick,
again.
and then the left kick to the head. That's amazing. Right kick to the leg, left kick to the head, and then shoots for the takedown. And there's the strength we're talking about. He's
Yeah, just
literally
brute
lifted
strength
his
by the
and
Cameroonians.
still
But
the
Hamza
takedown.
gets the takedown.
He does, but is his neck exposed? And it might just be. Yannick seems no, it's not. He's going to pop out of that. It's on the back of the head now, and that's that. Yannick's going to go for it again, and I think that's a very bad call on his part. He's going to end up gassing out.
Yeah, you can see Hamza very relaxed. He's not rushing into anything. He's
No.
making sure the position is secured, the hips are low, making sure his opponent is exactly where he wants him before he strikes or does anything.
You know, I used to train at one of the top gyms on the continent, and the coach there, Richie Kwan, would say to you, position before submission. And Hamza is living that right now. He's trying to secure the position to make sure he can posture up and strike. And there we see one or two quick shots to the back, to the side of the head.
He's trying to pull that leg out. He's in half guard at the moment. He is trying to get the leg out,
And it
but
is about to come out.
Yannick's
There
working
we
hard
go.
to try to keep it in,
And it's
but
out.
well done to Hamza.
Now,
You can see
straight-
knee on belly
straight
as
to
well,
knee on belly,
straight
straight
into
to
mount.
And now this, we know from history that the ground is not the favorite place of the Cameroonians and the Congolese fighters.
And he moved to mount pretty easily. Just got to watch the strikes to the back
Oh.
of the head there.
That was a phenomenal shot from Hamza. You're right, he's got to be very careful. That rule's still, for me, a little bit grey because of movement and momentum, but he's got... The ref has actually just had a chat there. He's flattened him out. Great positioning. Great shots with the left. They're big. These are big punches. You can hear
Yeah,
them.
he wants to end this fight in a hurry. He doesn't
Oh,
want to go out
Yannick
around
doesn't
one. There's
want to
only
be there.
10 seconds left here.
Well,
Can he finish it before the round ends?
is the ref going to... I think the ref will allow it to continue. Shireen's known for letting fights happen in the local community. And she's allowed
There
it
you
to
go.
get to the end.
Great work there by Hamza.
And the sportsmanship, end of the first round, they still got to come and face each other, and they're still giving each other high fives and moving on.
Well, Yannick showed a lot of fight there to get through that. He was in deep trouble at the end of that fight, but he fought through it, and great work by Hamza.
Hamza just showed me a totally different Bahrain side. He's coming with leg kicks, head kicks, knees. He's switching combinations. He's throwing a jab, cross hook, then he's throwing cross hook jab, cross hook hook. It's amazing to see that they've opened their imagination. They're not trying to out-wrestle everybody as we've known them to do. They're here to fight.
The thing as well is, Hamza's someone we've seen before. There's a couple of fighters that are fighting that we have seen in a Africa Open and a World Champs before. Is the evolution of all of the fighters that compete in these tournaments is exponential. I mean, we've seen the South Africans come back from a World Champs and look like a completely different fighter just from one tournament. Absolutely. And one of the coaches, when we spoke about it, said to me, an hour or around in the cage is like 100 hours in the gym. You learn so much more about yourself, your skill set, what you need to do and how you need to develop than you ever will in a gym situation.
Especially about yourself. That is the truth. I've been there on an amateur and a pro level, and you expose yourself to yourself, and that's where growth comes.
You can see there, Hamza wanted to touch gloves. Yannick not interested.
Nice little wild left hook that landed.
And then get straight into it.
You're going to notice Yannick's going to try and stay out and he's going to try and brawl. He hasn't got a strategy to stop Hamza at the moment, so he's going to try and rely on some wild boxing.
Yeah, and if I was Hamza, I'd carry on with the leg kicks. That stance is still very wide. He's not going to be able to move out the way, so I would still carry on with the leg kicks.
Nice boxing move, that. Very nice combination from Hamza. He's getting tagged going in though.
There he goes, right back to the leg kicks.
And a quick head kick. That does land. And Yannick look a little bit shaken, but he's in this. Hamza breathing a little bit excitedly. Needs to be careful.
Very wild punches. If Hamza just throws straight punches straight down when Yannick comes forward, he is going to catch him.
Yannick is jab, overhand, jab, overhand, jab, overhand. Hamza should shoot.
And when he throws that jab overhand, if he just threw a lead right when he throws the right, he would catch him.
Good takedown by Yannick. And straight into guard by Hamza. He's calm.
And the Cameroon fans are getting very vocal. They're getting in behind their man in this one as well.
I tell you what, if they were allowed in this cage, they would.
Good work by Yannick. You can see again, a lot of strength, a lot of power. He's holding the head and throwing some big punches.
However, look at the jiu-jitsu pedigree here. Looking for a sweeping armbar. And still looking for it. He's in a good position, putting the shoulder down. If he gets that leg behind the head.
Yannick is, as we said, very strong. Pure brute force.
The issue I'm having here is we have a minute and 20 left and Yannick's quite wild. Is he going to... And then he should have gone for the guillotine and didn't. And Hamza stood up and now Hamza will effect the takedown. And there we saw it earlier and we see it again. No! Judo! Grabbing the cage and the referee will warn him. And now he is in trouble. He's still holding the cage. But he's in trouble. He's going to eat these big punches. Jason, those are massive shots.
So these are very close to us here at cage side, and you can hear them. They are connecting.
You could be sitting outside or across the road at the roadhouse, you'd have heard those shots. Yannick needs to stand and shake this man off.
Muhammad's doing, and again, he's not as wild. He's very composed. He's picking
Yannick is
his
going to be
shots.
very close to getting a point taken off here, potential DQ. He keeps grabbing the cage, and he's been warned again.
As we said, very
tough
composed again.
As nails, though. He's got 30 seconds to survive, and I can't see if that choke is in the right position. No, he might be okay.
No, I think Yannick's got the arm trapped underneath.
Yannick does have the arm trapped underneath.
He can't actually do too much against it at the moment.
And he
postures back up again.
Great strikes from the rear mount, the back mount.
Less than 10 seconds to go now. He should be able to see out the round.
He'll see out the round, but at what cost? He needs to learn to clear the legs when they're in hooks. Great sportsmanship by Hamza. Doesn't try and get up and push his opponent down. Allows him out. He corners him very quickly for Bahrain. A little bit slower for Cameroon.
And again, very composed by Hamza. He's taking his time every time he's in a position. He's picking the shots. He's not wasting energy. He's not wasting energy on any unnecessary strikes or any unnecessary positions. He's feeling where his opponent is, and when he has the opportunity to strike or move, he does.
I'm impressed with Hamza. He's better now than he was last year. 30-40% better fighter all round. We're seeing things. Last year he was a bit of a boxer and a wrestler. This man's an MMA fighter. The jiu-jitsu is good. His positioning's fantastic. He's got leg kicks, head kicks, body kicks. We've got great hands, movement, explosive in and out, throwing a lot of those little feints over the left. Little boxing, little Floyd Mayweather movements, if you will. For those of you who know Floyd Mayweather, it's those little come out and then explode back in for 3-4 punches and pull out again. Fantastic stuff. And here we're going into round 3.
Yeah, so second fight of the day and third round. Looks like we're going to go the distance today.
Yeah, I'm excited. If it's at this level and this quality fighting, I don't mind sitting here for 3 full days.
There you can see his corner telling him to throw those combinations.
They're telling him to throw 1-2 uppercuts, so a 1-2-5 or a 1-2-6.
You can see Shari just cleaning off the water there for the safety of the fighters so no one slips.
That opens up a whole different discussion. Is that the ice that falls out of these bags can be hazardous to both sets of fighters. It gets very slippy on this top.
There you can see again straight back into just feeling each other out in the beginning of the round. No one wants to make a mistake.
He looks a little desperate in that he's trying to just kill everything in front of him right now. He is behind 2 rounds for me.
Yeah, he definitely has to get the finisher.
And there's the takedown. There's definitely no doubt about the takedown quality of Hamza. It's at will. And again, the hand positioning from Yannick is wrong. He's going to blow his arms out. He needs to think about moving, and there we go. We've passed. We're pretty much in a mount position straight away.
Hamza straight into mount. Yannick's going to be in trouble for the rest of this round.
Absolutely. And if history's going to tell us anything, Yannick will eventually turn and give his back, and it'll be time to hit off again. That was again the patience. He's pushing the head down. He's waiting for the hands to clear, and then he's striking. He's in no rush. Hamza knows where he is in this fight. He knows he's ahead. He doesn't have to make silly mistakes.
No, he could just stay here for the rest of the round and walk
Shari won't allow that. She likes action, and so do the fans.
Well, he's throwing. He's definitely making sure he's active. He's not just laying and praying. He is definitely throwing some massive shots here.
Again, I would like to think that from this fight, if and there we can see the strength, but again, the positioning and the jiu-jitsu positioning, and now Yannick has pushed himself away from the cage, which was his 1-8.
Yeah, and Hamza very low hips. You can see he's sitting on him, only posturing up to throw punches.
Just be careful for that shot to the back of the head that almost landed there. He did pull it back last second and punch the ground.
He's got a lot of time.
Double hammers. Trying to break through the forearm guard. Yannick's wasting his time throwing from the bottom. We all know this. We talk about it week in and week out.
Yeah, he has to get out of here. He has to get up. He has to do something.
Shireen's warned him twice now. This fight's not going to last much longer.
No, he's going to stop it. He's eating a lot of shots. He's not doing much to better his position. And in this position, all that's happening is he's just taking punishment.
Again, it is an amateur level fight, guys. We are here to protect the fighters while still ensuring that they get the results and fight the fight.
And the fighter will always fight. You know, a fighter will always continue. A fighter will always fight. So that's why the refs have to step in.
And there we heard the last warning.
Fighters.
She's warned him now. This fight will be stopped, in my opinion, in the next 3 to 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm wrong. He hasn't betted the position yet, and there it is. It's done. It's done. It's done.
Yeah, at some point, the referee has to take responsibility for looking after the fighter. You know, fighters are fighters for a reason, and they will carry on fighting.
Absolutely.
And that's why we have referees that get taught to do things like that.
Let's just say this. This is not the end of the road for this man.
No.
This here is just the first start.
And
the first step.
I can tell you now that if these guys are back here again next year, same as we've seen in all the others, they will be completely different fighters just from this experience alone.
Massively different fighter. I thought Yannick showed a lot. I think if Yannick can if Yannick can get a bit more on the ground and a little bit more composed under pressure, we could see a completely different animal next year because he's got incredible power.
And also, it's typical of guys that are starting out. They're a bit wild. You know, they do throw a lot of wild punches. The adrenaline does get to them. But if he starts becoming composed and knows how to use that power and reach.
You'll see now as Yannick looks up at us, there's a lot of welts around the right orbital bone. It could be a broken right orbital bone. No, it's not. The medic has cleared him. He was very concerned, but it looks like he'll be okay.
He's just going to have a conversation with the corner as well.
Yeah, and I think important as well to say that afterwards there is still another medical check that happens. They have blood pressure taken, they have sugar levels taken, and everything. And we're waiting for the official result.
And your winner by a TKO from the blue corner from Bahrain, Hamza Zrira.
Great fight. The right result. Good stoppage by the referee. It would, if that had lasted another half an hour, he wouldn't have moved.
And Simon, the time has come for
I'm
fight
excited.
three.
I don't want to be on this mic.
Magomedov.
I want to be in the crowd eating popcorn for this one. But again,
Magomedov, I mean, as I said, I was at Brave at the last Brave event, and there were a number of Magomedovs that fought on that card, all that have fought in amateurs before. Their head coach of the team was also there. I mean, these guys are just immensely strong. They are ferocious in a cage. They're always looking to finish. They're always looking to do damage. We saw this guy here last year, and he just absolutely blew my mind. We only had one fight because he didn't fight for the goal. He didn't fight in the final because his opponent was ill, which was one of his teammates. But this guy is something to watch if you haven't seen him before. This is fireworks all the time, and if he wins, and I say a big F because I don't think it's an F.
Listen, let's say F, Jay, and I'll tell you why.
Stranger things have happened.
Dimitri Fox fight yesterday. For me, on paper, the fight shouldn't have gone more than a round.
But if he wins this one, it sets up the final for me of the tournament. And when I saw the draw, it's the only fight I've been salivating, and I cannot wait to see him fight Nkosi and Ndebele, 2 gold medalists from last year. Both competed in the World Championships. Both are back here this year and are now in the same division.
He got a silver in the Worlds though, didn't he?
Lost in the semi-final.
Actually, I got a bronze.
Yeah.
What an achievement. Let me tell you, I've been to Worlds. It's not an easy tournament. The format is a little bit different, a little bit more intense, a lot more fights.
Yeah, this is one of the competitors that I've definitely been looking forward to.
However, he is
immensely
up against a little bit of an unknown locally. Nathaniel Kamana is somebody who's had good fights and looks like we're ready to go.
And we move into the featherweight division. First out coming into the cage from Team Bahrain, Abdulmanap Magomedov. Yeah, as I say, this guy's ground is insane. His control on the ground is next level, and he's just one of those guys that wants to do a whole lot of damage in a hurry.
Yeah, I think he might just have put the kettle on. He's that guy. He puts the kettle on, comes in and gets up before the kettle's boiled. We've seen absolute mayhem from this man. I'm excited. I'm glad he's back this year. I'll be honest with you, with his results last year, globally, he fought at every tournament and medaled at every tournament. Africa, Pan-Pacific, Australasian, Asian, Worlds. He was European, everywhere. This guy is a fighter. Jay, we say it to each other a lot of the time when we train. There are guys who can fight, and then there are fighters. This is a fighter.
Yeah, and you can see, I mean, he is ice cold. He is just as calm as anything, very focused. He's been here a number of times, so nothing new for him, and he looks extremely calm.
That is probably the scariest thing that he could be right now, is calm. However, he is facing a local lad, and is going to get a lot of support in Nathaniel.
Yeah, and we've seen Nathaniel a number of times. He is a good fighter. He's, this is definitely going to be a test for him to see what level he really is at against a really game international opponent.
Ultimately, this is the best fight he could get. It's the toughest fight he could ever have in his life at this level.
Next to the cage, out of Team South Africa, Nathaniel Kumani.
And you'll see Abdulmanap is very focused, very calm, very relaxed. And you'll notice in the next, and there it is. He starts steering from here. This is something I saw last year. He'll make contact again at the point of taping up. He likes to intimidate from here. And he's intimidating me. And I outweigh him by about 35 human beings. The man is ice cold. The vibe I'm getting out of that cage is one of the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that comes in to do a job almost. You know, there's not really much emotion.
He's a soldier.
He's coming in to win his fight and walk out the cage. That's
Correct.
it. That's all that's in his mind at the moment.
He's not here to sightsee. He's here to win gold, go home. But man, if he can win this one, and we're getting Corsi King in that final tomorrow, oh man, you could sell tickets to that all day. Because that'd be something special.
First thing he's got to do is get past Nathaniel.
Well,
Nathaniel could pull off a win here. This would be a massive win for
Nathaniel's
him.
got some nice wins in his amateur career, and a lot of them have come off the back foot. He's that guy that's so unpredictable that he's never the same fighter twice. And I'm hoping the time spent with his team has given him the skill set to. I think he's going to need to, in my opinion, Jason, he's going to need to weather an early onslaught. And if he can do that, perhaps it changes the tide.
Yeah, Magomedov is definitely one of those that's going to come out hard, and he wants to finish. He always looks to finish.
Yeah, no, like you said, it's a job. This is not a sport. This is a job for him. I'm excited. We have Shireen Strauss back in at the cage as the referee. Oh, I just got chills as that gate closed, man. The look that just went across this cage, one of absolute murder.
And here we go. This is the fight we've definitely been looking
Nathaniel
forward to.
with a quick
Nice
jab.
jab there by Nathaniel.
Little
Good
hook.
hands. And there you can see the difference. You know, Magomedov very set. You know, goes forward with
Yeah.
purpose. Nathaniel very light on his feet, but got caught. And this is
Hang on,
the place
hang
where
on,
he
the
doesn't
Kimura,
really
the
want to
Kimura
be.
could be in here. Nathaniel's got a nice little Kimura key lock going. And he's got the leg tied up. As long as he's got the Kimura, he won't pass guard. Do not leave the Kimura to go. And that's fantastic. He could use that Kimura to get up. Because there's no way that Abdulmanap will be able to pass right now. Or else that arm will get ripped off.
But look at how low Abdulmanap's hips are. He's literally sitting on his leg. There is no space. All the weight is on.
Absolutely. No, look, Nathaniel's a little bit concerned because he's getting a lot of blood into that tricep area. You can see it pumping up.
You know, the only danger here is will he gas out his arms?
Oh,
and then,
he's
and
got
then
that
for
arm.
the
That arm's
rest.
loose.
If he can just pop it
And
past his
there-
leg.
And there's a great defense from Abdulmanap. He pulls the other hand through and holds his own wrist.
Yeah, and he's landing
Nathaniel's-
shots to the
and
ribs,
he's
and
had
it
to let it
doesn't
go.
look like it's hard, but those things will eventually
they
start taking their
they
toll.
forced the key lock to be let go.
And
now
he hits hard.
This is where we know him to be. And there's that wrestling. He pulls the arm and he's trapped.
Yeah,
Well
as we
done by
said,
Nathaniel. Well
Abdulmanap
done,
is
Nathaniel.
not going to come here to do 3 rounds. He's going to come in here to get the fight done, get out, and get ready for finals day tomorrow.
And he certainly doesn't want to be wasting any energy. He is facing a monster tomorrow if he gets through Nathaniel. He's facing Nkosi King, who we hold in high regard here.
Yeah, in my opinion, the best amateur in the country at the moment.
Pound for pound? Absolutely.
There you can see again, very composed, very focused. He's not rushing into
But let's
anything.
also give
But
Nathaniel
Nathaniel's
his
doing
due.
well.
Nathaniel's relaxed. Nathaniel's very comfortable in that position. This is, and I know it's gonna, for those watching, it'll sound terrible. This is one of the best Nathaniels I've seen. He's calm and composed.
He's given up his back there.
My gosh.
Abdulmanap
That's
was on it
amazing.
in
That-
a
that
hurry.
is
He's got the
tight.
choke in. It looks like it's under the chin.
That's
There
over.
we
That's
go.
over. We knew this was going to be the result.
That is a scary man.
However, let's not take away from Nathaniel. Nathaniel was in this fight. He had the Kimura locked in. He also got a couple of good jabs in. He got up off one scramble. He did all right. But
Simon,
he was
for me,
facing.
this sets up the final of the tournament and the fight I have been hoping would happen from the day it was announced and everyone signed up on my next match. And that is Nkosi King versus Abdulmanap Magomedov. And we'll have the best seats in the house.
I got to say, no, we won't. The referee does. I'm thinking maybe I should go and get my license renewed. No, all jokes aside, it's the dream final in this division. In fact, it's the dream final for the Africa Open. Defending gold medalist of a man who's also got a gold medal but didn't get to fight in the final.
And your winner out of the blue corner by rear naked choke from Bahrain, Abdulmanap Magomedov.
I am excited. Let's go home. Get ready for the finals. I just want to see that final happen, man.
Well done by Nathaniel, though. He weathered a massive
I
onslaught.
thought,
He did well.
like I said, I thought Nathaniel was calm and composed. I'm not unimpressed. He has not done himself an injustice.
But that is probably the hardest opponent he's going to be facing for some time.
Probably until he turns pro. So now we're moving to the lightweights. We've got Steve O'Law against Shamil from Bahrain. Steve O'Law, we know, recently fought on Fight Stars, searching for a scrap. Came up against a really, really tough opponent and lost. His first loss in quite a while, actually. We know Steve O'Law was a very focused individual, somebody that chases what he wants, gave up a title in one organisation to compete in another, to ensure that he had a place to get into this SA side. He wants this so badly. Training partner on the local scene with Donald Mabuselo, we saw yesterday, get in and do the job very fast.
Very good wrestling background as well.
Absolutely. They come out of wrestling for MMA, local club here, which is headed by Jacques Rousseau, so we know the pedigree is going to be high. But we've just seen the Bahraini team show us they've got jits, wrestling, striking, kickboxing, and let's be honest, their kettle hasn't boiled.
And the rumor is that they'll be flying a multiple-time world champion in from a boxing background to do some work at KHK MMA with the team as well.
So my ticket's on the way. The Prince is not leaving anything to chance. He's developing a team of absolute assassins. You know, there are fighters in South Africa, we have one or two who call themselves assassin. These are assassins.
We now move to the lightweight division. First up from Team South Africa, Steve-O Law.
Steve-O brings a crowd. Steve-O got more. Even the Cameroonian fans like Steve-O Law.
And he is a personality. He is a big personality. He loves a good scrap. He loves talking a bit of nonsense.
But he was born to be a personality. Your surname's Law.
Yeah.
The playoff on that alone, Law and Order. Here we go.
Well, I think there's one of those in Tekken as well.
There is. In fact, there is. You're right.
Can see what I spent my youth doing.
But Steve-O Law, he's become a friend of mine. He's somebody that I've seen develop over the years. Steve-O Law was always one to big weight cuts, and he came up to me yesterday and he said, I don't know what's happened, but since searching for a scrap, my mentality has changed. I'm not ill-disciplined. I said, what do you mean? He said, I didn't have to cut to stay here. He knew what was the game.
Yeah, he was ready for this long before the Africa Open started.
Oh yeah, but his mentality has changed, which is going to make him a much more dangerous opponent. We know in the local scene he went through a qualifier to get into the reality show series, which had a lot of controversy behind it. Well, from everybody but us, we called that fight right as it was. And Steve-O Law didn't even let that shake him. This is a guy that can be an ice cold killer on his day, and today could be that day.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those fighters that on days where he really shows up, he is extremely dangerous.
No, he's been waiting for this. He's been waiting to wear green and gold. He's been waiting to show the world who he is. What better platform than right here? And our referee for this one is going to be Bobby Karajanidis, who needs no introduction.
Fighting out of Team Bahrain, Shamil Gimbatov.
I don't know anything about Shamil, to be honest with you. I do know that he's coming out of a tough as nails team. We've just seen that.
And don't be surprised if his wrestling game is pretty good as well, which means that it'll be a wrestler versus a wrestler, I think.
I spoke yesterday to some of the team, and they said to me that Shamil is one of the quick transitioning wrestlers they got. And I said, what does that mean? He doesn't stay in one place too long. So I'm expecting something explosive. Very, very similar build, if you will, to one of our local fighters, Steven Gonzalez. So maybe we're going to see some of that lanky, unorthodox striking. But still, carrying a lot of muscle. Lean and lanky. In fact, even looks like Steven Gonzalez. Steve, I hope you're watching.
You can see the weight in the legs, though. That's where you can see it. And that's where the power is going to come from.
Correct. This is going to be an interesting fight for Steve-O Law.
It's a big step up for him as well to fight, and that's what this tournament does. It's an African Open. It's at home for South Africans, so it's easy for them to compete into. But it gives them that experience of fighting on an international level.
Absolutely. Again, we said it earlier. It's the unknown. You can prep for people you know, and let's be honest, we've all watched each other fight at some point. In South Africa, as big as it is becoming, it's still relatively small, and all the fighters, it's a small fighting pool, if you will. But we're definitely moving in the right direction. I'm excited. We go through those pre-fight rituals.
And it's the second Team South Africa versus Team Bahrain for the day. Actually, third one. We had Jordan Chetty start the day for us. Bahrain is up 2-0 against Team South Africa, so they'll definitely want to get a win in this one.
I know Steve-O Law well. I'm going to tell you, he's done that maths. I know him that well. For Steve-O Law, everything's personal when it comes to his country.
Time to kick down. This is going to be an interesting fight to see where it goes. You can see Steve-O Law has the height advantage.
Attempted head kick there from Shamil. Nice.
Very wide stance as well from Steve-O.
Steve-O Law, so nice little hands there. A little jab, little hook. Nothing with power. He's feeling the air at the moment. He's not trying to overpower anything. The nice thing from Steve-O is everything that lands is getting returned with something. Oh, nice right hand. A little bit low. He's got to keep that right hand up. That left leg kick is looking for a home on Steve-O's head. Great takedown.
There's the takedown.
Now let's see. And there's the first transition.
No, he is quick. He's
He is very
quick on
quick.
the ground.
He's looking for the knee on belly.
Shamil's into side control now.
He's looking to get into a crucifix position where he'll then be able to isolate both arms.
You can see Steve-O there walking the cage, trying to get out.
And there we have the crucifix position.
Yeah, he's in deep trouble here.
This
This could be over in a very short while.
If Steve-O doesn't get that one hand under the head or around, or the leg over, This fight's over.
This is going to be stopped. The ref's not going to let
Bobby
this carry on
Carrigan is
for too
about
much
to stop
longer.
this fight. Steve Law is in a terrible position. The crucifix position, and he's eating shots. To be fair, Bobby Carrigan is given the opportunity because a lot of the shots aren't actually landing clean.
He's sticking his face underneath Shamil so that he doesn't actually eat many of those shots. But it's almost impossible to twist out of this.
Shamil has also been warned quickly now by Bobby Carrigan for grabbing the shirt. And you'll see Steve Law is starting to get a little bit of movement, but it's not going to be enough. He needs to get that left hand the side.
Yeah, one of the hands need to get loose.
He's even trying to use his legs. That is how desperate Steve-O is to get out of there and carry on fighting. And this is what they talked about, how good his wrestling is. He's got his head used as a third arm there. There is no way, unfortunately, I'm going to tell you that this fight is about to be stopped. Steve Law is burning everything, and he is trying. Man, that is so much hard from Steve Law. But Shamil is shot to the back of the head, which Bobby's having a look at. That's the second one. And that's the warning.
Yeah, Steve-O is trying everything he can. Yeah, he's throwing everything he's got at trying to back him off, but it's almost impossible at this stage.
It's the first warning now.
He asked him if he was okay, and Steve-O said, "I'm okay." He wants to carry on fighting.
We've got 50 seconds left. I'm sure they won't stop it. Not with 50 left, and it's over.
And that's it.
As Steve-O was getting out.
It had to be stopped. Though. He was eating punishment for a long time.
That was amazing positioning and control.
Now the ref gave him every chance that he could there, but and
you look at
couldn't get out.
Shamil actually looks like he feels bad. The way he looked at Steve-O is like, "I'm sorry." He said, "I'm sorry." But
that was incredible.
Control.
How quickly he moved from the takedown to side control into the crucifix position was a matter of seconds.
And not just that. What was impressive was I know Steve Law is a physical specimen. He is strong. But that head on the ground is the third arm. Steve Law, that was the defining matter there. Steve was a bit disappointed. You can see that, and understandably so.
Yeah, Team Bahrain are here to take over. They are not here to take part.
No, they're definitely not. Hashtag trademarked. That was a display, and I said it. They said he's the quickest transitioning person they got on their team.
And they were
he
not
moved
lying.
to 3 different positions in under 2-3 seconds, and then locked it in and said, "We're done."
Yeah, no, that again, his movement from the takedown into that crucifix position and the transition
Jason,
to
let me
get
ask
there
you.
was
You've commentated
insane.
a lot of fights with me, and we'll come back after the announcement.
Your winner via TKO from the red corner representing Bahrain, Shamil Gimbatov.
So I'll ask the question, Jason. You've commentated and watched a lot of amateur MMA. Is that the first time you've watched the crucifix effected to a stoppage like that? It is for me at amateur level.
I think I've seen it once before.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, in the pros, you see it quite a bit. But even though I've seen it before, I've never seen it done that quick. The transition from takedown to moving into side control and then straight into the crucifix. It didn't even look like there was effort. It was just like a one fluid motion from the takedown.
When he hit that double leg takedown, he was already thinking of that crucifix. That was the difference. And Steve Law, let me tell you, that is heart beyond heart.
No, he was taking punishment for long, but he just refused to quit. You could even hear it, the way that he was, he was shouting while he was trying to buck him off.
Are you okay? Yes, leave it. Yes, leave it. Man, that's passion. And it's not just passion. Steve believed he could get out, and he was close. But the control from Shamil was absolutely, and I hate to use this word in MMA, that was pretty.
It was.
That was absolutely pretty to watch.
His transition from takedown was as fluid as anything you've ever seen.
Right round, got the side control, came straight through, locked the leg over. He sort of stepped out and stepped back in, leg locked. Then dropped the head straight down onto the mat, second leg, arm locked. That's it. You don't have hands. You can't defend yourself.
Moving straight on to the next one, fighting out of Cameroon, Endom Bikim Durant.
So Endom here is fighting somebody out of Nagamutu from Mauritius. Now Mauritius, I'm going to tell you that I've happened to be in Mauritius at an academy there when I was working for a previous employer. And Jiu-Jitsu. Monet Swanepoel, well known here, does seminars in Mauritius all the time. They have more black belts than here, is what I was told. And I don't doubt that, because they travel. They travel to learn. They travel to compete, being on an island. And they don't just come to South Africa. They travel internationally, regularly.
There we can see again that the physical prowess of the Cameroonians. You can see another strong-looking fighter out of Cameroon. Very thick in the legs, very strong build.
So one of these two is going to be lucky enough to face Shamil tomorrow.
That's it.
I don't know if that's a great lucky draw to have right now. Shamil looked.
Well, that'll be a good gold medal fight.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see Shamil and his own guy have a fight. Abdulmanap. That must be interesting sparring days.
Yeah, I think the sparring at Team Bahrain with all of the Magomedovs must be a fun place to be to watch.
Family Bryce must be something to see. And there's that intimidating tribal stamp.
Next into the cage, fighting out of Mauritius, Terence Nagamutu.
Terence Nagamutu we haven't seen before. Mauritius' first time here.
Yeah, again, it's nice to see the growth, not just of the Africa Open, but of the IMMAF tournaments, and that's all the new countries that are starting to register and become part of that IMMAF family. It shows that the sport is growing. It shows that the sport is healthy because there's amateurs coming through the ranks, and all it's going to do is create more competition in the pro circuit and make sure that the pros are better.
Absolutely. What it gives us longevity in a sport we love. That's what it gives us more than anything else. It's a safe environment. It's a highly competitive environment. And there is no quarter asked, no quarter given. Now, we saw earlier with Yannick from Team Cameroon, a lot of physicality. We see the same physique. Are we going to see a similar fight with the wild punches? Because one would imagine, based on what we know, Jiu-Jitsu should be where Terence is going to come from. That seems to be the big calling in Mauritius. But this right now is exciting for me. We don't know either of these two fighters. We haven't seen them. We don't know what's going to come. And I'm excited. I'm really excited.
And you know, the federation behind it, IMMAF, are doing an incredible job to build the sport. You know, again, if you look at a world champs, the world champs grows exponentially every year. If you look at the Africa Open, we went from 3 or 4 teams last year to 7 teams this year to, you know, more athletes than what we had. The sport is growing all over the world, and IMMAF play a massive part in that.
They not only they play a part in it, they are the reason it's happening. And then, you know, you've got to look at MMA SA as well. That's constantly striving and pushing and pressing, and it is tough. It's tough when you don't have a royal family sponsoring your team. Yet we're able to put out 12 or 13 fighters. I think it's fantastic.
Oh, we sent the biggest team we've ever sent to a World Championships was last year with 10 athletes going.
Yeah, that's big. We went with 6. So we thought we were it. Every year. Next year will probably be 15. I think it's great. Here we go.
And there you can see again the two fighters just feeling each other out. Nagamutu with the inside leg kicks.
And there we see the jiu-jitsu straight away. Pulled guard. Looking for a sweep. Oh, and it's a big slam. Oh,
and there you can see that power of the Cameroonians again. Very wild though. He's not setting for the position. He's not trying to get anywhere, you know, any dominant position. He's just going for raw power.
Ooh! Moves the legs. Big overhand right down to the ground. But that ankle is going to get taken soon. The jiu-jitsu in Mauritius is special.
And there you can see Nagamutu's going for it.
No straight ankle locks. Let's remember it's an amateur tournament. He can't heel hook and he can't straight ankle lock. Interesting this. We're in a bit of a stalemate position. What a great ref to have for this though.
Both fighters going for the exact same lock.
Looks like Bobby might just stand him in a second.
No, neither fighter's doing much to better it. If it's not in, it's not in. And there's those big punches again. Oh, those are massive shots. Those are huge hammer fists.
Potentially get knocked out like this.
Oh no, this is amazing. Going to hit him through the canvas.
I have not seen power like this level. He's not.
Wow.
Stopping. All the jiu-jitsu in the world's not helping you at the moment.
As Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, and he is getting punched in the face.
He wants to hurt him. He doesn't care about winning. He wants to hurt him.
There you can see breaking that in the frenetic action for a couple of seconds.
Oh, these punches
again,
are massive.
hammer fists.
However, he's about to give up his back. If Nagamutu is as good as I think he is on the ground, we're about to see. It's a terrible position for Edson to be in. Yeah. For Durant to be in this position is not very good against a Jitska. If he can pop his head out the back, he's got his back.
Now Nagamutu also showed a lot of heart to get through
Jason,
that. He was eating
he's not
massive punches.
And here we see it. Here it goes.
And then he's going to pop out and you'll have the back once he does. If he can get the hooks in as well.
Yeah, and there's one hook.
They're both in. He just needs to pop the head out now and then he's in.
Well, if nothing else, he survives the round, and that left arm of Durant is going to be a no-no. It's going to be a non-noticeable variable in the next round. It'll be guessed. He has locked that arm up as tight as he can. And Terence Nagamutu has got all my respect, because he should have been dead.
Yeah, no, he ate some massive punches there.
I was looking over at the medics, and they were literally starting to come forward. That was amazing.
Yeah, Nagamutu ate massive shots by Durant there and got through it.
But again, quality of the referee. To know that the man had enough fight left in him, because I've seen on lesser organisations the fight stop for 1/5 of that.
But you can see, again, it was big punches, but if you look at Nagamutu's face, it doesn't look like it took too much damage. I mean, he definitely got hit, but...
Not only did he get hit, his face imprints all over this mat.
But again, there's a big difference between getting punches hitting and punches really landing.
Correct.
And that's where the experience of
Now,
someone like Bobby comes in to see are the punches landing to the point where he's physically hurting the fighter, or does it just look like they're massive punches?
Well, the interesting thing is, Durant is the one that's breathing heavy. Very deep from the stomach at the moment.
Yeah, but
very, very
throwing
deep.
punches with that much power is going to take a lot out of you. It's not just about fighting out of punch. If you're throwing with that kind of...
Terence Nagamutu's hardly got a double breath on him. He's smiling. Oh, the other welts are showing on their head. Now the marks are coming through.
This has been an absolute cracking first round. I look forward to the rest of this one.
I'm not sure Terence does. And
You see, he is flat-footed though. And gee, what a massive leg. And there he goes with the hammer fist again.
there is just violence in this young man's eyes, because Terence stuck out his hand to do the niceties, and he got leg swept.
Yeah, that leg kick just took everything out from under him. There you can see Durant moving to side control now, but half guard back. But there are the big shots again.
And they're on their
I don't
arms.
know how much longer Bobby's going to let this keep happening. It just
I think
they
Bobby,
are landing on the arm.
Yeah, but Bobby also being a jiu-jitsu practitioner knows if Terence is going to be in a position to defend himself or to advance. And again, the power of Durant is amazing.
Sitting cage side, you can hear those shots landing. They're hitting the arms, but there is a lot of power behind it.
Shamil may not have all his weight tomorrow should Durant get through here. We could be in for another explosive final tomorrow. I'm excited, man. That's good jiu-jitsu from a guy I thought it had none. Great pass to side control by Durant. But if anything, if what we saw in the first round, this is where Terence is going to be more comfortable. He's not getting hit anymore.
He is comfortable on his back, and jiu-jitsu practitioners are comfortable. It's not my favorite thing in the world. If you're on your back, you're not winning a fight. But it does say something for being calm and relaxed in that position.
Oh, great!
Straight into mount.
Explosive. What does he do from here? Very nice. He's trying to flatten Terence out.
This is where
this is surprising.
when he postures up and starts striking and lands, those are going to be some heavy blows.
Those ones?
There we go.
Would those be the
They're
heavy
landing
blows?
on the arms, but if one of those shots get through, they are going to cause a lot of damage.
Not just a lot of damage, it could be over. It could be over. This kid Durant has got power for days and violent. There is just violent intent in this kid all around. And in fact, standing right behind us is Shamil, watching this fight probably closer than we are right now.
Yeah, he's looking at his opponent for tomorrow.
Yep. But again, Team Bahrain, this is the thinking. This is how they process. Everything is a plan. He's right behind us, and he hasn't blinked.
And one of the pros in South Africa, Pity's sitting behind me, and he's grimacing, looking at the shots that are being thrown.
And Wade Henderson right next to him doing the same thing. Wade Henderson is grimacing as every shot lands.
Now those are big blows. But you can see again, he's lasting through it. He's working.
Now not such a nice position. There's 35 seconds left, but his jiu-jitsu is saving him at the moment. But he's down 2 rounds. He can't afford to come out and touch gloves next round either, because that's what got him into
And there's
position.
those hammer fists again.
He came out to touch gloves, do the niceties, and instead of a touch glove, he got swept.
And you can see Durant's doing very well against jiu-jitsu practitioners. His hips are very low. He's keeping his weight on him, especially on his chest, keeping it on his neck, making sure he can't move.
That
And every
hammer
now and
fist was
then
massive. My
hits
table
him
just
with one of
lifted.
those blows.
The whole table just shifted. That was massive.
And I mean, between rounds, we saw that Durant looked like he was breathing quite heavy, but it didn't look like it affected him during the round.
He's bouncing on round 3.
I think he got his second win during that round.
Terence Nagamutu might be wanting his team to dial into Mauritius and get him on a plane home. And that's not to be derogatory, but that man is in trouble.
He got hit with some heavy shots.
I tell you what, though, he shows no signs of giving up, though.
No. He always thinks he's in the fight, which is
That's a fighter.
That's a fighter. No matter how many shots he's taken, he's still working to make sure he's in the fight.
Again, great refereeing allowing us to have this amount of action. I think it's warranted. The fighter's not in danger. When they enter that danger zone, then yes, I think things change.
And again, a lot of weight and a lot of power, but they were hitting the arms. They weren't hitting the face. There wasn't major damage being landed, even though the sound and the look didn't look great. But from an actual damage point of view, it looked okay. And here we go, last round. The man from Mauritius is going to have it all to do here, I think, in the third.
But he has the ability to. His jiu-jitsu is good enough.
Again, my issue with that though is
starts standing.
he also stays on his back for a long time, and he ate a lot of punishment and lost the round there. So it's not a bad thing.
It's over.
Shit,
He's still
what a big shot!
How is he still standing? How
that
is Terence
overhand
Nagamutu still standing
hit him
after that?
From hell.
He spun around, and he's still standing.
And that knee landed as well. He felt that in the body.
Oh, he's got to watch that knee. That one went towards it. Great shot. Great shots. Dirty boxing for days. I am impressed. Shamil is impressed behind us.
Yeah, I think a Shamil versus Durant fight would be insane.
And you thought the other final was going to be explosive. Welcome to Africa. This is the jungle, baby.
Yeah, these guys are definitely not disappointed.
This is a jungle fight, and the biggest cat's winning. The more violent guy is showing that it comes prepared. He has come to do damage. He's not here to make friends.
And also, in comparison to his teammate earlier, he is a lot more composed. He does take those breaks. He does catch his breath. He does get the position first. But when he explodes, man, does he explode.
I am blown away by his level of competence on the ground. And again, not to be derogatory, but we don't see this a lot from the Cameroonian and Congolese fighters. But he is very comfortable. He's not judoing. He's jitsing.
And he's also not just using raw power, which is what they usually do. He's using his weight, he's using technique, and then when he explodes, he just tries to dismantle his opponent.
Doesn't try, man. He gets it right. That overhand right would have stopped most people here today. Oh, more shots. Oh, you're right. They're landing everywhere, but that means everywhere in his body is going to hurt tomorrow.
Yeah, he's definitely going to know he was in a fight today.
Although, if he does, if Nagamutu gets that leg around, not after that shot. But he was looking for the armbar. Could you imagine him getting that now to end this?
Huge hammer fist again. Even the ones to the body, those are going to cause immense damage. Your gas tank is just going to be sapped.
You know what he's doing brilliantly, and I didn't notice it till now, is every time that Nagamutu moves, he hits him in the stomach.
Yeah.
He's literally a straight shot into the midsection, not on the ribs, and it's just sucking the air out of Terence Nagamutu.
Yeah, and you could see, between the rounds, his gas tank is almost empty. He's had those shots have taken a lot out of him. He had a knee to the midsection just now as well against the cage that would have just sucked the life out of him.
There's got to be a moment going through Terence Nagamutu's head right now, and that is why me.
He's still working though. He's still looking for position, but now he's in big trouble. The mount is there. He could 10 seconds left here. I think he'll last the round, but. He's taken a lot of damage in this fight.
He is still trying to work, but there is no time. We know what our final is tomorrow. It is Durant Shamil.
The gold medal fight in the lightweight division is going to be epic.
Let me just tell you something, though. Let me tell you something between you and me. Shamil walked away and shrugged his shoulders, shook his head and smiled. He literally doesn't care. That means it's going to be even more intense. That could be the final of the tournament. I know you'll be talking about Abdul Manaf and Nkosi King.
Yeah, I still have that as the pick.
I don't know, man.
For me.
I don't know. This Durant is walking on. The only issue I am having currently is a little bit of showboating. We don't see that the Bahrainian did a much quicker job. The Bahrainian's got 2 rounds on this guy tomorrow. Shamil didn't showboat. We didn't see that. We didn't see the arrogance, and I'm seeing a little bit of that here. I'm not overly impressed, if I can be completely honest with you.
Well, the problem he's going to have with Shamil is those quick transitions on the ground. His ground is, he's not going to lie on his back. He's not a jiu-jitsu guy. He's not going to lie there and look for stuff from the bottom. He's going to fight to be on top, and both of these guys on the ground are going to be fighting for real position and to do proper damage.
Absolutely. Now we look at the next fight. We've got another South African coming out, Steve Olaw's teammate. But I'm going to tell you why I mentioned that early, Jay. I've got a lot of South African fans sitting behind me, and some quality coaches, guys like Shane Carr from Valhalla, and they're also offering instruction the whole time. It hasn't just captured the imagination of Team SA, it has captured the imagination of the MMA public in South Africa.
We go to the judges' scorecard, and your winner by unanimous decision, out of the blue corner from Cameroon, Endem Bikim Durant.
Well deserved. I tell you what, I'm going to still take a bow and say thank you, Terence Nagamutu. You gave us a fight. You were at no point a quitter. You brought something.
He shot a lot of heart. He had a lot of shots, a lot of damage. And there you can see the respect from the Cameroon fighter. He is showing respect to his opponent's team.
He is now, and in fact, I'm looking at his eyes. He wants to cry. That is the first
win. A lot of emotion and adrenaline after a fight as well. It is the first win for a Cameroonian.
He is the first Cameroonian to win at an IMMAF event globally.
And good on him.
And boy, did he do it justice.
He definitely came out here to prove a point. He definitely came out here to win the fight. He wasn't here just to compete. He definitely came to win.
Man, I'm just looking at that South African lineup, and I'm seeing Julio Plaikis, Nkosi King, Sheldon Victor, Alan Menamet, who we'll be seeing shortly, Steve Olaw. It's the who's who of amateur MMA in this country. I'm a little upset on a personal level that we're not going to be seeing Delano Himan today. Somebody that I enjoy watching.
Yeah, he's also a devastatingly strong guy, and it would have been nice to see him compete today.
Well, to be fair, we've got a common opponent. We both lost to the same guy at Worlds, but I believe he won that fight against Urman Smijic, in my opinion.
And moving into the welterweight division, our first competitor out of Australia, Cody Barnwell.
Now, I know this kid. I've seen him fight. Admittedly, it's not live.
I saw him fight at the Worlds last year.
And?
He's definitely a guy that wants to come out and also prove a point. He's a fighter.
Would you say that he's potentially the top-ranked guy in this division at the moment?
At the moment in welterweights, I probably would, yeah. And well-deserved.
It's going to be interesting. I've seen him fight on a couple of amateur events in Australia. Obviously, the fight cards came out. I went and researched a couple of these guys. He finishes fights, man.
Yeah, he's a fighter. He comes to fight. He's not one of those guys that's not going to come out here just to take part in the fight.
No, he's not here to make up the numbers and see sunny South African winter.
He is definitely. He's going to come here to finish the fight and get through to the next round. He wants to go home with the gold, and he's not just going to come here to win it in 3 rounds. He's going to come here to finish it early.
Absolutely. Cody Barnwell is somebody I've been excited to see. One of 2 Australians fighting today. The other is going to be Joseph Luciano a bit later, fighting Alan Menamet, actually. I'm looking forward to that fight.
And going up against Donald Mabusela, who we've also spoken about.
Well, Donald Mabusela spent less than a minute in this cage yesterday.
And fighting out of Team South Africa, Donald Mabusela.
Donald Mabusela did about 1 minute and 3 seconds, actually. But it was a quick double leg takedown, smash, 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 and go home.
And a takedown with purpose.
Man, it wasn't a takedown. It was a WWE Royal Rumble slam off the top rope.
He wanted to send a message yesterday, and he definitely did.
Now,
so this is going to be interesting. It's going to be 2 guys with different strategies, but 2 guys that are both going to want to finish this fight early.
Jay, sometimes you send a message and it doesn't come back. Last time when I told SARS I'm not paying and they arrived at my house. So, did he send the message to Cody and Cody's knocking on the door? Or does Cody hear the message and say, I'm in a fight? This one for me could be a cracker. This could be an absolute. In fact, there hasn't been a single fight today that's let me down.
No,
what a day of
and this is another competitor for fight of the day. Yesterday, my fight of the day was Dimitri Fogg and Sohaib Dahmani. I think that was definitely my fight of the day.
Who's your fight so far in the completed fights?
It's.
I know my one. Last fight.
I think it would be Terence and Durant. I think purely because of the heart that he's shown, but just the amount of damage that was caused in that fight and the intent shown by both fighters. I mean, yes,
to be the first Cameroonian to fight at an international to win at an international event, That for me is massive. You're the second guy entering a cage. Your training partner, your more senior training partner, has just lost. You've got to go out and recover country pride. And man, you don't just recover the pride. You just took over the pride. You are alpha. I'm excited about this fight, man. I'm excited about this fight.
Yeah, this could definitely be a real barn burner.
No matter what happens, these 4 in the semi-finals are the right 4.
Yeah.
This is going to be cracker. Here we go.
And
Bobby
this
Carriganidis.
is the first fight to determine the finalists for tomorrow. So this is Cody's first fight of the tournament. It is Donald's second fight, although yesterday's was quick.
Oh! Donald
you could
smiling.
hear
That
that
hurt.
echo.
That hurt. It's
And
running
again,
around.
it's a good strategy with a wrestler. Take the front leg, but a very wide stance by Cody. So it might not be a bad idea for
that's
Donald
two.
to have the same strategy.
Donald should shoot. In all honesty, I'm telling you now that if he doesn't,
And there you go. Goes
Look
for
at
the
the
shot.
defense. Look at the defense from Cody Barnwell. Look at that defense. Amazing.
Very
Amazing
good takedown
defense.
defense.
He adjusted mid-air to ensure that the underhook didn't the arm between the groin didn't happen.
Yeah, if it did, we could have seen another spectacular takedown.
Could have seen an inter-fight there. Oh!
Nice short little shots there, but they are landing.
They count. The judges hear them, the judges see them. Cody Barnwell is not somebody you're just taking down. If Donald Mabusela...
Oh, what a great
eventually,
takedown.
he goes old school wrestling and takes the ankle, but look at that. He's straight back
Cody's
up.
straight back up.
I'm going to tell you that if you can defend takedowns from Donald Mabusela like that, you know what you're doing. And there he goes again on that
with
same ankle pick. Donald needs him away from the cage, and he's trying that. However, Cody Barnwell's
got
been
the
in
back.
barn burners before like this. This is definitely a different Donald Mabusela when we saw him searching for a scrap when he fought Shane Higgins.
Yeah, Shane is
Shane is special.
Shane is a great opponent.
Donald doesn't like getting
Donald
hit.
he looks a bit gassed. He looks like it took a bit out of him to try and get that
I
down.
think he's completely gassed.
Oh,
He keeps
great
turning his
straight
head.
punch.
If he keeps turning his head like that, all the takedowns in the world are not going to help you when you're getting knocked out.
Okay, he shoots again.
But he's not finishing, and this is where the gas tank becomes an issue. The
It
amount
takes a
of
lot out
energy-
of you to fail at a takedown.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot less than it takes to defend a takedown. A lot more, than it takes to defend.
He is working though. He has got his opponent against the cage. He is working him. Nice long straight punches though from Cody earlier, and those will definitely change your mind on a lot of what you're doing in the fight.
Cody's right hand was right down the pipe twice. But again, Donald turned. Donald's been chasing this takedown for a minute.
And all
10
the way
seconds.
across the cage. It started on the opposite side of the cage. Cody's takedown defense is
Did you see that block from
extremely
Cody
good.
on that knee? He dropped the elbow on the knee. He knew it was coming.
Yeah, he's just going to hit him with those shots now.
Donald's rocked. Donald
Oh,
rocked.
huge shot landed.
Look at this defense. He changed into
Yes,
single.
he eventually does get it. But he ate a massive shot. He was definitely rocked there. But Cody straight back to his feet
You'll
again.
notice something. There is no power left in Donald's strikes.
Yeah, Cody definitely wants to end this with that straight right.
Who do you get that round to?
Cody.
You're going to take the 3 takedowns away?
The,
Okay, now pretend to be a judge.
The,
Who do you get
the
round
problem
to?
also is do you count those as takedowns if they weren't really controlled when they hit the ground?
And that's where the green and grey areas
Because
touch.
what is the definition of a takedown? If you hit the ground, does that necessarily mean you're taken down, or does it just mean that you hit the
It
ground?
does. Unfortunately, it actually does mean now. And I say unfortunately because it could swing the round the other way.
I think it's a tough one for the judges to call.
Absolutely. However, I don't think it'll go to the judges if Donald allows himself to get hit with another one of those right hands.
No, I think at this rate, Cody's looking for a finish. He's looking to hit him out of this fight.
I'm going to be honest with you, I think Coney's a little disappointed it's not over yet. He threw that right hand. Donald didn't know where he was. And if you looked at the end of the round, Cody actually looked at him with disdain because Donald covered up and cowered up for the shot. So Cody
You
now
can see
knows.
Cody is breathing quite heavy though. He is breathing through quite a bit through the stomach.
He is.
But Donald also looks like he's pretty gassed. So now I think this will come down to who has the bigger gas tank and who's going to be able to push through.
A little bit more tentative this lot, and there's the jab.
There's
Donald
that
keeps
jab
turning his
again.
head. Donald needs to go. Donald's wrestling's fantastic, but he needs to work on that stand-up, especially the defense. He's not in this fight every time.
And
Even
he's
the
also
shots
not
are
trying to
missing.
parry the punches. He's
No.
just lifting the hands up.
So if you throw a fake jab and a little overhand left, you're going to land it. And there you see it.
On those body shots, when you're tired, is definitely
Donald's gas tank is finished.
Oh, there's that straight right again. That's all he really needs to do is just throw a straight 1-2. It's landing every time.
He's killing himself in his takedowns. I'm going to be honest with you. It's almost as if having Jacques Rousseau not here has left Donald a little bit at sea. He can't finish a single takedown at the moment. He's that gassed. He's trying the incredible head kicks, and he needs to go back to his base.
You're going to see those 1-2s again from Cody. He's just going to keep hitting him with the straight punches. If it's working, why change?
Oh, that leg kick. And Cody's throwing everything. He knows what he's doing. This kid is composed. He moves well. He strikes. It's exactly what we expect. If you saw him at Worlds, you know what he's about.
His striking is very good. And he uses his length. He uses those long levers. You can see the punches go all the way, long straight punches.
Nice shot by Donald. Little jab there.
Donald needs to duck under the punch and shoot. That's all he's going to have here.
But he's dry shooting. He needs to throw something to get the shot.
Cody is quick. He gets those underhooks in a hurry. He sees him coming every time.
But Donald is telegraphing the takedown because they're dry. Donald hasn't shown one instance where Cody would have to worry about the strike. You're going to see now Cody switch around, and there we see it. He doesn't want to stay clinched. He wants to hit this kid. I kind of get the feeling Donald's looked around 3 times. I think he's looking for a clock somewhere to see how much time's left.
No, he's got quite a bit of time left in this, and those shots are not going to land.
You don't want to be there, buddy.
Gets the
Old school wrestling.
But again, Cody very quick to get up. His scrambling is very good. And not too much effort to actually get back to his feet.
No. Donald's counting
Donald doesn't want to be here anymore.
No, Donald wants out. He was looking for a clock. This fight's over. Bobby will stop it there and it's done.
Great fight by Cody. He did exactly what he needed to do. And again, those long punches caused the damage. That's where he won this fight.
Sportsmanship. I love it. These are my favorite moments of these events, when the guys sit there with a little respect for each other and they just put it out there. Cody Bombell's one to watch, man.
Yeah, Cody's going to be a tough act. Tough act to follow.
We saw Abbas Khan yesterday. We saw Sheldon James Victor yesterday.
Yeah, both of them had very good wins yesterday.
I'm excited. That could have been a final on its own. But Cody Bombell not letting people dictate who gets the gold. He's going after it. It was a great fight.
And as we said, he is going to look for the finishes. He's not here to do 3 rounds. He's not here to go the distance. He's here to finish fights. And he proved it again.
Yeah, we're looking at a TKO finish here. Donald had run out of gas, and I think Donald ran out of ideas, to be honest with you, Jason. I think he didn't know what else to do. And you said it, Cody got out with ease. He slipped out like butter.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, is if your strength is wrestling and the guy gets up that easily, that's when you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, and it comes down to gas tank. Should be running 5Ks every morning, like somebody else on there. Hashtag me.
That's what happens when you train with a boxer.
I'm going to tell you, and that's actually applicable right now. And I'll come back to that after the announcement.
Good fight by both these competitors. Let's give them a round of applause. And your winner by TKO, out of the blue corner, representing Australia, Cody Barnwell.
So we talked about now. We spoke about Donald's hands and his striking, and for me, lack thereof. So I'm a brawler. I like to get on top, and I thought I was quite good. I've joined a new camp, and it's a boxing camp. And let me tell you something, I'm really not good. I'm getting better, but you learn so much, and it's about the fighting gas tank. I can run 10Ks every day. I've done it. But when you've got to do that, coupled to the striking, and then still got to get time for the wrestling, amazing stuff.
On to our next semi-final in the welterweight division. Calling out first from Team Bahrain, Abbas Khan.
We saw Abbas Khan yesterday.
Yeah, we saw him yesterday. Good fight from him yesterday. But, this is probably the first fight we've seen where both competitors have fought 2 days in a row. So we'll see what they have left.
Yeah, it is the first. And Abbas Khan yesterday, when he left here, he looked gassed. He looked tired. But you don't look that now. He's smiling. He's having a good time as he gets taped up.
What a change a day makes.
It's true, though. He's probably had a good night's sleep. And again, he's coming out of a team that, and we know this team, Joe. We've seen how they are for each other. They come here, they are a family. They do nothing without the next guy. Nothing happens without consulting the next guy.
And they train like pros. There's no amateur training in Team Bahrain. They train full time. They put in the work. They put in the hours. Well, gas tank generally is not an issue for these guys.
And Team Bahrain have got a straight path to Brave. If they can deliver the goods, they get the opportunity. It's their home event. It's growing rapidly, and we've seen some phenomenal fights. One of our own is on the next card in Belfast. One of our own, Chad Hanekom, is
another
fighting.
South African that actually fought at IMMAF, which is the title fight, is Frans Mlambo. Frans Mlambo won the gold medal there. He's going for the Brave title. So another.
Can we claim those ours again?
IMMAF alumni. Well, he was born in South Africa, so he's technically South African.
What flag goes up when he wins?
He's actually got both, Irish and South African. He carries both. No, he carries both.
Goes up on the
he
banner?
represented South Africa at IMMAF.
Yeah, he did, but he represents Ireland now, and that bugs me. Well, I won't tell him that. France, we wish you the best of luck in your upcoming title bout.
I can tell you that I gave him the South African flag at the last one, and he used it. So he's got the South African flag on his shorts as well.
He was here a couple of months back. He trained at Fight Fit Militia. He's very proudly South African. But the opportunities he got afforded, and he's done very well for himself. Trains at SBG. He's one of Conor McGregor's main training partners.
Yeah, he was his main sparring partner for the Aldo fight.
And look how that worked out for Aldo.
And again, an IMMAF gold medalist that's gone on to now fight for a title at Brave. And another alum that's come out of the World Champs.
It's got to be one of the top 3 organizations in the world at the moment.
And definitely the fastest growing one.
Absolutely. And what I like about them is they move around. They're everywhere.
And everywhere they go, they help build the sport. The World Champs is a prime example of what they're doing to help grow the sport. They're bringing IMMAF to Bahrain. They're putting it on the map. They're making the World Championships something that everyone wants to watch. Put on the Brave event on a Friday night during the World Championships at Fight Week. They make sure that there's a path for all of these guys to go to. A lot of the gold medalists that have fought at IMMAF are signed to Brave.
It's quite a long ritual here. I think we may have forgotten the gum guard. Yep, his team's gone looking.
Yeah, his team's looking for his gum guard.
This is not indicative of the crime rate here. I just want to put that out there early. And I make the joke. We're in a great country, and talking to some of the other countries that are here, and some of the guys here for the
there
first
we go.
time,
We've managed to find it.
They're loving being in South Africa. The hospitality, they say, has been amazing, and the venue. They love the venue.
So we are ready to move now. Abbas Khan is ready to get in the cage, ready to get Vaselined up, and here we go.
Next into the cage from Team South Africa, Sheldon Victor.
I said to you yesterday, this is one of my favorite up-and-coming fighters. He's just an absolute gentleman outside of the cage.
And as you say, one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet.
Until that door closes.
You can see he's still got the earphones in. He's staying focused. He's got, again, that's that pre-fight ritual that you talk about. Having the same thing, listening to the same music, going through the same things.
Having the same emotion spike at the same time.
100%. It's brain training, and that's exactly what it is.
I think we're going to end up seeing, for me, we're going to see, and I'm going to go on, I'm going to commentators curse, Cody Barnwell, Sheldon Victor, gold medal match tomorrow. That's my opinion. That's my synopsis of where we are.
It would not be the first South Africa-Australia matchup that in a sport that we see. Lots of rivalry between those two countries in cricket, rugby, and everywhere else.
You left a cricket joke out there, but these guys do wear groin protectors, so there'll be none of that. So.
Yeah, definitely always a big rivalry between the two countries in terms of South Africa and Australia. I think if we play lawn bowls against each other, there's always a bit extra in it when it's South Africa, Australia. So I would look forward to that if it happened.
Even beer pong, man. It's bred into us from an early age.
Yeah, that, as you say, it is bred into South Africans and Australians from a young age. I think the rivalry has always been there for rugby, which is, I think, where it all started, same as with New Zealand. Cricket, it's definitely built onto, but any sport at the moment between the two countries is always something to watch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't play the Socceroos all that often.
No. But as you say, could we have a Sheldon Victor and Cody Barnwell final, or is Abbas Khan going to have something to say about it?
I think Abbas Khan's heard us and he's giving us the evil eye. I think Abbas Khan's about to try and show us how wrong we are.
Well, he could just carry on the dominance of Bahrain over South Africa that we've been having today.
Well, we need this win. As a South African, we need this will be the first one.
Yeah, so Bahrain's up 3-0. There's that boxing we've seen from Abbas Khan again. Oh, and he's landing some big shots.
Landed 4 massive shots, but true to Sheldon, he just shrugged them off.
There's a
Massive
big takedown.
But again, Sheldon is a good fighter. Somebody that's not going to
Fighting to get back on his feet. Abbas Khan doing a lot of what we saw yesterday. It worked for him then and it's working for him now. And his boxing is good. If you see his boxing stance, his boxing is really, really on top.
Sheldon is deceivingly strong. I think that's something people don't. You look at him and you don't see all this massive muscle. And is massively strong and very technical, and he'll be looking for little gibbeys, and Abbas Khan's going to have to move. You know, we've got the referee looking closely all the time to make sure that it doesn't get to a stalled position. And I'm listening and I'm hearing the corner court speak, and they're talking about getting the arm over the shoulder and getting the turn, if you will. But the base on Abbas Khan right now is phenomenal. He's based beautifully.
You know, he doesn't give his opponent too much space to work from. Everything he does, he keeps very much on top of it.
Sheldon Victor.
Sheldon scrambling there to try and get out of it, and he does. But look at the hands on Abbas Khan. They're always at the chin, they're always at the jaw. He keeps his hands up, real good boxing stance.
Left hook, right
and look at the shots that he's throwing.
Hang on, Sheldon's just landed 4 beautiful straight punches.
But Sheldon's definitely gotten the worst of it. I think the difference between the two is where the hands are when they're defending. Sheldon's hands are not always up, not really protecting his face. And also a lot more of a brawler kind of stance as opposed to a traditional boxing stance.
I'm going to be honest with you, when those hooks started landing, I thought that could be the end. And then Sheldon came back with 4 beautiful straights, which has slowed Abbas Khan. Like this position here right now, if Abbas is waiting down on Sheldon, that's heavy for Sheldon. And another big takedown. Abbas Khan he definitely hurt us before.
And everything he does is clinical. You know, he waits till the point where he knows it can happen. He doesn't waste energy like we saw with Donald. Trying to get the takedown, burning energy. He waits until the point is there where he knows it can happen, and then he explodes.
There's the strength of Sheldon there. So he's got him in a headlock, front headlock, and he tries to rip him down, and Sheldon just stands. Sheldon throwing some little shots back, and they are going to help, but he is going to gas out. Keep doing it.
And there he gets pulled to the ground by Abbas. Again, you know, waiting for the point where he feels that he can bring his opponent down and then explodes.
Got to be careful. Sheldon's going to be quick. Sheldon will quite happily throw an up kick from here. Abbas is obviously also looking to recover, so if he can keep Sheldon in that position, it's enough action to keep the ref down, away from standing them. And you'll see Abbas is recovering. We've got some blood coming from Sheldon's nose.
Yeah, that came from the hooks.
I don't know which one. He's eaten about 30 hooks.
When they threw the combinations just before Sheldon threw those straight punches, that's
okay.
where the hooks landed, and that's where the blood slowly started coming out the nose. But you can see Sheldon still looking composed. He's not looking overly flustered. I think he's just taking deep breaths to try and get the gas tank back. But again, good fight so far. Both of these guys are throwing leather. This could be a little surprise one for fight of the day for me.
It could be. We going now into.
There you can see his coach saying, "Stop throwing the wild hooks. Throw straight punches." And you know, the boxing, the true boxing, is being requested there, as opposed to just the wild hooks being thrown over and over.
That was an incredible 3 minutes. Absolutely incredible 3 minutes of fighting. Sheldon's had to fight off the back foot, but he has fought. He's come to fight. He's still in this fight.
And when he was going backwards, eating those hooks, he landed 4 great straight punches.
But let's think about this. There wasn't a single straight punch from Abbas Khan. Everything's hooks.
And that's what his coach said to him now between the round. He said, listen, you need to start throwing straight punches. Stop throwing so wild.
Because if he keeps throwing those wild ones, Sheldon will pick him off.
Yeah, those straight punch down the pipe will catch you a lot faster than what you're going to eat.
I hear over my right-hand shoulder Peter Clarkson, professional fighter in South Africa, that trains with Sheldon. He's telling him Shelley, straight punches, and calm. Shelley, straight punches, and calm. It's the best advice you could get right now. Is straight.
Oh, and there's that hook again.
3, 4, 5.
Yeah, they are just throwing now.
Very concerned that Sheldon's hands are down.
And that's the problem, is his hands stay down. Even when he throws punches, the hands go back down. They don't go straight back to the chin again. But he is working now in the clinch against the cage. There's the strength from Abbas Khan. This is a really strong guy as well.
I'm going to tell you something. It doesn't matter which of these 2 fighters goes through to Cody Barnwell. We've got 3 cracking finals lined up tomorrow, man. So Abbas Khan in great control, composed. But he comes out storming. We did not see this from him yesterday.
Yeah, these
palm strikes.
There's the
They're
open palm
they're not
strikes.
doing too much at the moment. I've got to be honest with you. There's a time and a place for them. And I saw Dimitri Feld use them yesterday. Great. but at
And
the
I think he
wrong
used them too much.
time. And at the wrong times.
Look, his legs are by you, Sheldon. His legs right there by you, buddy.
Billy Coxon shouting great advice considering he's on the coaching team. The legs were close. Sheldon should have got a leg there. Or kicked the leg out.
Yeah.
Something. But these taps on the back of the head, because that's what there's no power in those. None of them on the ear. You need that on the ear, that's where it's effective. You need it on the bottom of the orbital bone. Or on the nose. Right now, Abbas is relaxed. He's having a good time, man. He's recovering while Sheldon's
And
burning
look at
energy.
where his hips are.
They are lower than
Low
they were
on
lower
the
than
ground,
Sheldon's.
making sure that
Sheldon's
his
hips are
opponent
pointing
can go
up, but he's
nowhere.
pointing down below Sheldon's hips. He's going nowhere. And he's got both hands around the hips and around the waist.
Every time Sheldon moves, just pulls him back down again. There you can see it again. Making sure he's not too concerned about the palm strikes that he's eating. He's just making sure he keeps that position, gets in the into the judges' heads that he is the one winning this fight and controlling it.
Quick kick. He'll give one more of those and step back, guaranteed. There's the second one. And let's see if the step back comes. He's going to stand there again. It's the recovery time. Sheldon's trying to foot fight. I honest to God, wouldn't. And we see shin pad is exposed. He's going to pull it up. And the referee's going to call to separate them to stand.
Shelly, straight right, left foot, chin down. Shelly, straight
Nice
right,
off Sheldon there, and the referee didn't spot it, but Sheldon noticed that the shin was exposed. Also an opportunity, and there comes that
There's
hook.
the shots again.
But he slipped that one. He's expecting it now.
Oh, good shot landed by Sheldon.
Oh!
And there's the
It's
shot
over. It's
that.
over.
Oh, right, I think that was
I think
early.
that's a very early stoppage.
That's early. Sheldon
That's a
had the
very
leg.
early stoppage. That is a very early
That
stoppage, in my
was-
opinion.
That's hard done by Sheldon there.
That's an extremely early stoppage.
Sheldon had the leg there. He was definitely not knocked out.
I think
That
they could
is-
unless the referee saw a flash knockout. I'd love to see a replay of that. I'd love to see a replay.
No,
For me, in my
Sheldon
opinion,
did
early
eat the
stoppage.
punch,
Early
but
stoppage.
when his opponent jumped on him, he did grab the legs. I think it was a bit early for me.
I think it was extremely early, in my opinion. And I can tell you, look how Abbas is celebrating. He's not. He knows that fight was still on. He even looked surprised himself.
Yeah, he went straight up to
think it was an
Sheldon
early
and
stoppage in my opinion.
apologized as well.
Yeah, a very early stoppage. There was no flash knockout or anything there. Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
didn't
Sheldon
hit the
took
ground.
single
He
leg
didn't-
as well.
he-
So, yeah, I'm
as
very
soon as
concerned.
Abbas came forward, he grabbed the leg, which shows that he wasn't knocked out. But again, the referees are looking after the fighters and looking after the safety of the fighters.
Yeah,
But
looking after safety is one thing, Jason. But I'm sorry, that was a shocker. That was a shocker, and you can see Abbas. Look at Abbas. He is apologizing
yeah,
for the
and he
referees.
did the same thing to Sheldon as soon as it happened.
No, and he's apologized again to Sheldon. He shouldn't have to apologize for bad refereeing.
Your winner via TKO, fighting out of the blue corner from Bahrain, Abbas Khan.
Abbas Khan's not even taking this victory. He doesn't want it. That is the most humble thing I've ever seen from a fighter.
Yeah, there's definitely no celebration there
No,
from him
his
or
whole
the team,
no,
to be honest.
They're smiling because they're always smiling. But they're not overly happy. None of them jumped up. I think it was
Yeah,
an
I think it's
absolutely...
definitely hard luck
No,
for
it
Sheldon
was a shocking
on that
decision. Shocking decision.
one. And it was a good fight.
That had the potential. And I tell you what, they could still be my fight of the day. That
It was
an
a
actual
very
round.
good fight. Those two guys were throwing leather non-stop. They wanted to just get in and smash each other.
Joseph Luciano, Adam Menomet,
Now we go into the middleweight division.
and the same referee. I'm sorry, I know it's unprofessional, but that was shocking.
And on to the middleweight division now, fighting out of Australia, Joseph Luciano.
Well, I know this kid as well.
Well, here we have it. Australia versus South Africa.
I've got to think that these guys set these draws up, man. Listen, if I can offer any advice to any of the fighters right now, finish quick because there's a variable at play. The variable is the safety of the fighters. It's going to be taken seriously, and perhaps in that last fight, and in fact not perhaps, the safety of the fighter overruled good judgment in that, in my opinion there.
Again, I do think it was an early stoppage, but he did eat a big shot.
Yeah, but he was in that, Jason. And I know it's not professional. We need to be impartial with that. Had the potential. Sheldon had a single leg. There could have been a takedown from there, reversed the position. He was ready to drive. Abbas Khan wins, goes to a gold medal match, and isn't even happy about it. Apologizes to the fighter, apologizes. He questioned the ref. But it is what it is, it's done. And that's something a lot of guys forget. When it's done, it's done.
That's it.
Right, Joseph Luciano trains with Cody Barnwell. Oh, man, Cody Bommel's one of my favorites at the moment, man.
Yeah, we're now moving on to the heavier of the guys, and you can see the size difference now when they stand in front of the man doing the Vaseline. You know, taller guys, bigger guys. This is where the real heavy shots come from. I think let's have a look at the replay from the last one if we can, and just and see where that shot landed and what the referee could have seen. Hips are
They are lower than
low,
they were
on
lower
the
than
ground,
Sheldon's.
making sure that his
Sheldon's hips are
opponent
pointing
can
up,
go
but he's
around.
pointing down below Sheldon's hips. He's going nowhere. And he's got both hands around the
That
hips.
is some good control. I'd
And
like
on
to
the
see
way.
the actual replay of the, which comes just before that stoppage there.
And fighting out of Team South Africa, Alan Mehenemet.
So yeah, if we can go back a couple seconds, Joe, on that monitor, we'll be able to see that actual shot land, and we'll see the position that Sheldon landed up in, which I think is absolutely. That's not Alan Mehenemet. That is Alan Mehenemet now on your screen. Alan Mehenemet, I've refereed in jiu-jitsu competitions. I've actually had the opportunity to spar with him, and he's tough, good movement.
He trains out of the same gym as Dimitri as well, which is
Team CRT.
definitely one of the toughest gyms in South Africa. If you're fighting someone out of CRT, you must know you're in for a long day. They're not going to quit.
No.
They are tough. They spar harder than
And
most guys
Fridays,
fight.
and Fridays are sparring days then. What's today?
Friday's sparring
Friday,
day.
baby.
Yeah, in South Africa, their sparring days are well known. I think it's a bit of a myth what happens in that
No,
place.
it's not a myth.
Not
It's
many,
absolute
not many
evil.
guys are allowed in there. It's normally the testing ground for fighters that want to train in that gym. And if you can survive one of those sparring sessions, you can definitely fight anywhere.
Well, Alan's been one of the more quieter CRT members. He's sort of, he was about to fight for a title on an organisation that now at the moment is not operating. So he's earned his stripes. He's got a good couple of wins. He's won a couple of no-gi jiu-jitsu grappling tournaments. He's done very well. And an all-round nice guy, just full of manners. Old school Afrikaans boy, full of manners.
And if you look at again who comes out of that gym, Dricus du Plessis, the best pound-for-pound fighter on the continent. Michiel Opperman, ex-champion. Jeremy Smith, ex-champion,
Dave
now
Bursky,
fighting at Brave.
ex-champion.
Dave, all the Burskis are fighting out of
Well,
that
2 out
gym.
of 3. Matt Bursky got a little girl, and he's enjoying life.
That's it. But I mean, every guy that comes out of that gym is tough as nails. And if you train there, if you spar there, I mean, multiple-time champions, everyone
let's
that
see.
comes out of that gym is good. So let's see what Alan brings to the tournament. Good defense, though, by Alan. Oh, and there's a big takedown.
That's a Donald Mabusela moment from yesterday. Intent. He wants to deliver.
He wants to send a message.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do.
Absolutely.
And there you can see he is moving. So the winner of this will be fighting the winner of Riyad Pandi and Dahmani from Tunisia.
That could be. Dahmani yesterday showed us what he's all about.
Yeah, he is. He fought probably my favorite in this division. So, and won it well.
And won every round. Let's be honest.
Won every round.
Oh,
There you can see Joseph trying to get it in with the guillotine there. Now let's go and moves in, but Alan's doing well to make sure he keeps.
the referee slapping the hands
position.
away. So it's my fun moment of the day. You're half his size and don't want to slap his hands away.
Yeah, it's a couple of times today we've seen guys grabbing onto the cage.
Oh, you do not want to be in this position. I saw this Dave Bursky, Martin van Staden in a local pro event here. He sat on his legs, just punched him away. But Alan Mehenemet is strong.
And you can see he's got almost a
But this is
triangle with
interesting.
the legs to
Very
keep the
interesting.
legs in. And he's just working to get
He's
him
actually
down.
making it ugly. Sort of crossface against the nose, shots to the forehead, again crossface to the nose, just for control.
It's making it uncomfortable.
Joseph Luciano is a composed, thinking fighter. He's thinking, not one shot thrown that hasn't landed because he's not throwing bunches. He's throwing for.
And he's not throwing power again.
No.
He's just making sure he stays active, making sure that his opponent is uncomfortable.
And making Alan not be able to implement his game.
And that's it. It's difficult to look for something while you're getting punched in the face. Doesn't matter how soft the punches are. It just keeps coming at you.
Alan very uncomfortable right now, but he has got that. Oh, he's let it go, unfortunately. He's got to fight for all he's worth. He's got to get his back up against the cage and shoot up. He's got to be explosive as hell and shoot straight up. If he doesn't shoot straight up, this is not a good position for him.
No, he's going to spend the round here. There you can see he's trapped
he's
the
trapped.
arms, now just hitting those little shots again.
Let me tell you, in the judges' eyes, those are landing big, irrespective of how much damage they're doing. Because there hasn't been a single answer. I don't think Alan was expecting that double so quickly.
No.
I wasn't. Yep, we've got to put your forehead against his chest now, Alan. This is the worst position. Or you're going to have to sacrifice your back. You're going to have to do something.
Yeah, the round's almost over, so that one will definitely go over to Joseph. And Alan's got a lot of work to do in round 2 to make sure he doesn't go down 2 rounds here.
10-8 round, potentially a 10-8 round, that. Alan didn't throw a
You
bunch.
can see Alan having a bit of a laugh. He knows that he got dominated in that round, but again, didn't take too much damage. And I don't think the gas tank will be completely flat after that. He wasn't expending too much energy. He was fighting, but
No, but Joseph hasn't even done anything. That's the difference, is that Alan's had to carry his weight. So, and try and move. And you know, Jay, you know weighted training, it's the same thing. Right now, Alan's, in fact, breathing very deep in his abs, which is a surprise.
he's definitely got work to do here. Joseph was very composed. You can see that he's barely breathing at all at this point. Controlled the round very easily, got the
Doesn't take his
takedown.
eyes off his opponent from across the cage.
Yeah, he's focused. He's definitely
Yeah.
here to win.
Oh, yeah. I can tell you that there is not one final tomorrow that I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah, all of
any
the
of the ladies yet, or the heavyweights. But be that as it may, every fight today is delivered semi-final quality. Every single one. That's the beauty of the All Africa Games. All Africa Championships.
Here we go. Let's see what Alan can pull out of this one. Nice jab. Good inside leg kick there by Joseph as well.
We don't know if Joseph's got a bit of a... And there we go. He wants to wrestle.
And you could see the fake there. He faked to see what Alan was going to do. When he saw the hands go up, he threw another fake and shot.
Yeah. But that's what we said about Donald. He was shooting dry. Joseph was not shooting dry at all. There could be an arm bar, could be...
And he was
could be a
baiting his
Kimura.
opponent to see what he was going to do.
That Kimura is tight. He hasn't got it in, but he could use it to sweep. Although, if you're Joseph, you're throwing a knee into that leg and, across the calf. That is not comfortable. I've been in that position. In fact, yesterday with a guy called Kevin Kukumura at 130 kilos. And yuck on the knees. And it was a beautiful knee, another beautiful knee, another beautiful knee.
You can hear the corner there telling Alan just to stand up.
You can't lay there for another 3 minutes. Then Joseph can go and make himself some noodles, because you're not going to catch up on the points. You're going to need to finish. And I know Alan's jits is good. And we spoke about Terence earlier from Mauritius.
Yeah, but you can't win a fight in the back.
Cannot win a fight if you're not
Unless you're
at least-
finishing, you're losing at the bottom.
Correct. And especially at this level with the judges. 3 Ds. Domination, duration, damage. Joseph has all 3 at the moment.
Yeah, I think the winner of the day when it comes to damage was the Cameroon fighter.
Oh, Durant.
He wins the
Oh, my goodness.
damage award for the day.
And the hero for the day was Terence from Mauritius, his opponent.
Yeah, it's definitely still my pick for fight of the day so far.
I don't
Although
know.
Sheldon's one was close.
I'm going to tell you the Sheldon Victor fight for me was the fight of the day. It was stopped early, but until that point, it was an incredible fight.
Yeah, both of those guys were trying to take each other's.
Oh, I've not seen a takedown like it in my life. That was fantastic. He literally took the foot schoolboy trip. His wrestling is amazing. This Joseph Luciano's wrestling is amazing.
His control is very good. He controls his opponent well.
And
Every
again-
time he feels him move somewhere, he just moves the body
And again,
around.
not throwing punches for throwing punches' sake. He's not trying to impress judges. He's trying to weather Alan down, and it's working. Alan's face is lit up. His head is red, red, red.
Yeah,
You heard that sigh come out of him there. That's frustration. And at the moment,
No, he's just
Alan needs to roll
mentally
backwards.
wearing
Alan
him
needs to roll
down.
backwards now. He's gone the wrong way.
And he's mentally wearing his opponent down. I mean, at this point, you sit there and you go, what else do I need to do to try and get away from this guy?
Correct. And we're back to where here's the mental game now. I've been here a whole round before. Now we're back here. What do I do? And he's going
See, he's going for the guillotine there.
It's on. It's on. Alan's hand's about to tap. Adjustment. I didn't see a tap. Did you?
And that wasn't the end of the round. It was a 10-second call, I think. And there you can see the coach of South Africa telling the referee that was the call for 10 seconds, not the hooter for the end of the round.
Very concerned about this particular referee, Jay. It was 2 in a row.
Now, it's the second mistake he's made.
I'm going to tell you, though, that probably saved Alan.
I think,
That
yeah, if
guillotine
there was
front.
10 more seconds in that guillotine, Alan would have definitely been...
There is no way this man should be refereeing any more of this tournament. And I can say that because it's shocking.
Again, you can see Joseph sitting there. He's still looking composed. Looks like Alan has spent a lot of time taking punishment and more importantly, carrying weight.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the problem, is carrying someone else's weight for 3 rounds, well, for 3 minutes, again 3 minutes, and we're now going into the third round. We've had a day of long fights today. Not many finishes.
It's been a great day.
It's been a great day of fights.
I'm excited. I'm excited about tomorrow's finals day.
Yeah, if we look at the semi-finals that have happened today that are leading up to finals tomorrow, you do not want to miss any of the action tomorrow.
What time
Every
do we kick off
single
tomorrow
final,
so the fans can get
12
here?
o'clock, same as today, 12 o'clock Central African time, 11 o'clock
here.
UK time. So
let's get in here. Let's fill this place. Let's make some noise. Brakpan Indoor Sports Centre, St. George Road, Brakpan. Get in here. Let's fill it up. Team South Africa needs you. We've got some guys in the finals. Let's make noise.
yeah, I can't wait. I think this is going to be one of the finals days to
Alan's going to now try and control distance. You'll see he's going to try and get by his jab.
Again, straight under the punch, hits for the takedown.
Somebody from the crowd said, wait for the shoot and throw an uppercut. I think it was Katisa Mutima. For me, it's the right advice. But he didn't listen, and we're going to see another 3 minutes, I believe, of exactly the same. Or perhaps the referee stops it in a minute because he heard something.
Yeah, Joseph definitely going back to what he knows works. And again, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
He knows that he can control Alan. He knows he's broken him on the ground already.
That's the Corey Nelson. He's trying to roll him over. Right now, Alan, it's not a crank. It's not a neck crank. It's a Corey Nelson's position to a DOS.
And there, he's going for the choke now.
It's a DOS choke. Don't know why people are calling a crank on that, but the crowd also pro South Africa, obviously. Alan's tough as nails. It's not in.
There he goes for the back.
He needs to stand. His coach is shouting to stand. Alan should have rolled forward earlier, and he hasn't. And Joseph's not in a bad position, but he's not in a great position because if Alan takes his right hand down and pulls that ankle, he's on top. But he will need to finish. He'll need to physically knock his opponent out.
He's got 1.5 minutes yet to finish this fight. Otherwise, Joseph will be in the final tomorrow. Again, just landing shots just
the amount of pain.
Break the wall of your opponent.
And there we go, that forearm across the nose again. It's a horribly disruptive maneuver from Joseph. It's a dirty, legal, but dirty tactic. I don't think Alan wants to be there right now. I watched the fight recently and I commentated on a fight in Searching for a Scrap. The Joe Catania fight against Francois Meyer was exactly the same. You could carbon copy those two fights, that one and this one. And exactly what Alan's doing, Joe Catania did. Ended up going home with a broken orbital bone. He's not in a great place, and Alan needs to get his posture back. And that's what Joe's doing. That's what Joseph's doing so well, is he's controlling his posture.
Yeah, but Joseph's, the big thing here is he's controlling his weight. He's controlling where his body's moving to. Every time Alan moves to a different position, Joseph just controls him back exactly where he wants him. And there you can see again, just leaning on the fighter, making sure that all his weight's on him. He has nowhere to go, can't do much, and we've got just on 10 seconds left in this one.
Joseph tries a little bit of an ippon there, and it didn't come off, but with 10 seconds left, he can actually just physically hold on, and I think this is done. Alan's been game, but the position was never allowed to happen.
Great control there by Joseph. He controlled that fight all the way through all 3 rounds.
He's not even sweating. He did take one shot to the groin.
Yeah, right at the end, about 10 seconds left. Yeah, the ref wanted to stop it. I think he just said, listen, just get it go, because there was only 10 seconds left.
Please don't stop another round early.
And again, Joseph's done exactly what you need to do in a tournament like this. He's gone through, he's won the fight, he hasn't taken much damage. He went 3 rounds, but I don't think he exerted an incredible amount of energy. And he's now into the final.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I wonder if he's going to do what Shamil did earlier and stand here and watch the next match. Because Shamil was taking notes, mental notes. He even had his phone out and he was taking video. The Bahrain team are going back to study.
And that also, it shows intent. it shows that you are already thinking about the next one. You're not celebrating the win today. You're thinking about the final tomorrow. You're thinking about the gold medal, and that's exactly what you want.
It's where your mind needs to be the whole time.
Just waiting for the official announcement from the judge. We're just waiting for the scorecards to come through.
Coach J, Sexy D. You'll hate me for that, but tomorrow's going live globally. Oh, I'm glad you heard, Coach. what did we say yesterday? MMA Santa and Sexy D. That's the management team of Team South Africa. MMA Santa and J Sexy D.
And your winner by unanimous decision, fighting out of the blue corner from Team Australia, Joseph Luciano.
Well, Joseph, again, very humble team from Australia. They love competing against South Africans, but very humble. And Cody Bommel in the corner, they're having a chat to Alan. Alan a little disappointed with himself, but we're ready to roll for the next one.
Straight back into the action. No breaks here.
Straight into our last fight of the day in the middleweight division from Team South Africa, Riyad Pandy.
And Pandy has competed on the circuit a number of times. He fought at the European.
Riyad Pandy's done some travelling. He's quite often been the lone wolf. But yeah, I think we're going to see some things. A bit of a delay coming out, but Riyad Pandy is going to definitely game to fight. Here he comes.
Yeah, he was one of the few guys that actually won a fight at the World Champs last year for Team South Africa. He got away with a great submission victory in his first bout at the World Champs, and normally fights at welterweight, but competing in middleweight today.
Yeah, I think the format of the tournament, to maintain weight can sometimes be difficult when it's not your natural weight to fight at. We've seen Pandy fight at lightweight as well. So this is a guy that's been up and down the spectrum of weight divisions. The guy with a lot of experience at this level.
He's been around for a while on the amateur MMA circuit as well, on and off, but he has been competing for a very long time.
Well, in the last 2 years, since he made the SA team 2 years ago, he has been consistently available to the team. And his experience has no doubt played a large role in some of the younger competitors' growth.
And a man that we saw yesterday is Sohaib Dahmani from Tunisia.
This is going to be a cracker.
So again, the winner of this one's going to go up against Joseph Luciano in the final for the middleweight division. The finals day is definitely stacking up to be one cracker of a day.
I am excited. It actually doesn't matter which of these two fighters go through because they're both quality fighters. But they're going to meet Joseph Luciano tomorrow. And it's going to definitely be, if it's Riyad Pandy, Riyad we know is a jiu-jitsu practitioner more so than not.
Yeah, and those two know each other pretty well, Riyad and Bobby, who's doing the Vaseline for him there.
It's his head coach.
Fighting out of Tunisia, Sohaib Dahmani.
He's fighting the ref.
So a bit of a joke there. The cage guy locked Riyad and the referee in for a bit of a go.
Is that one way to secure the victory? Because this man that's coming in now, we know the damage this man can inflict.
Yeah, I mean, he fought Dimitri yesterday, and again, that was my pick of the fights from yesterday, and he was...
I'll be honest with you, I kind of had the final lined up as Joseph Luciano, Dimitri Fogg. It's kind of where I was going before all of the festivities began.
Yeah.
Things have changed somewhat.
Yeah, this guy's definitely put his name forward and said, I don't think that you're going to be right on that one.
We'd like to take that gold back to Bahrain, thanks, along with 3 or 4
Tunisia.
others. To Tunisia, sorry, along with a couple others. We are here to show who we are. He was the silent guy in their team yesterday, the sole winner for their country, and deservedly so.
Yeah, and has got a couple of belts in a few other sports as well. I had a look at his Facebook profile yesterday, and you could see 3 or 4 straps hanging around his waist and shoulders. It looked like kickboxing, I think.
Wow, that I didn't know. Because the jiu-jitsu display he put on yesterday was phenomenal. This man was switching from north-south to mounts to side controls to try. He had a triangle for 2 minutes at one stage. He didn't finish because of his position on the cage. But he switched to armbar and then
some insight into that one is apparently when that triangle was, I mean, we saw it was deep from here, but Dimitri's face was actually turning purple.
Yeah.
And one of the coaches said, I don't think it's in, and Sahib actually moved, which gave Dimitri some space.
But talking to Dimitri, it was that choke that caused the TKO at the end.
Yeah. No, it was deep, and it was deep for long.
Riyad Pandey, great body kick, good switch, nice outside leg kick, Riyad.
Pandey looking very light on his feet. Maybe it's the extra food he was allowed to eat going up to middleweight. He's looking a lot more sprightly today.
He's looking like the original Riyad Pandey circa 2012. That's how long he's been around. And then we see that close contact again that we saw yesterday. Riyad dropping his hips nicely. Oh,
good
little
takedown.
sweep takedown. Riyad's comfortable. He's started with a nice little flurry.
Yeah, Sahib working again from the top position. You can see Pandey just holding his opponent there, making sure he's not inflicting any damage or moving into better positions.
Yeah,
maybe
I
waiting
think
for the ref to stand them up.
Having a listen to the corner, I think they've learned from the Dimitri fight is not to do too much there because he'll look for opportunity. Rather time up, get stood up, and let's get back. Pandey won that first exchange and the second and the third one standing. And it is easier to defend from the bottom in a lockdown position that Pandey's got over that left leg of Shoaib.
Sahib not having an easy time of moving himself into a better position.
Not at all. Riyad Pandey's doing a really good job down there of avoiding damage more than anything else. And he's not expending a lot of energy to do so.
He tried to do it. Tried to switch him over as well.
And again, his head movement's insane. There was two great slips and then two he got clipped. But he avoided 50% of those hammer fists, and that's a great way to start. We saw what Sahib can do.
Yeah, those small punches are moving in there, but they're not causing any damage to Pandey at this point. His hips are very high at the moment. It's not a very good position for him.
Riyad Pandey's doing a great job with that little butterfly. He's brought the knees in, and he's forcing Sahib to have to fight to get down.
There you go. Pandey's got his legs out. Oh, but he's given up his back.
I'm listening to one of the more accomplished coaches sitting in the crowd, and he's right. Stand up and shake him.
Stand up and shake him over, yeah, because he is very high up on the back.
Yeah, and he can stand. He's in a position to stand. He's not flattened out yet. But that's
there he rolls him. I think that's going to be it.
No, Pandey's fighting it off.
Pandey's
fighting it off beautifully. Great defense, Riyad Pandey. Oh, eats two big shots. We did not see this level of aggression from Sahib yesterday.
No, I think after the fight yesterday, he wants to get out of here early. He had a war yesterday that lasted a lot longer than I think he wanted it to.
Riyad's in some trouble here. He's having to work really hard, trying to get some of his own ones back.
I think that's the end of the round. So Pandey survives it, but I think good work there by Sahib.
Let's see if we see a similar thing to yesterday where Sahib was breathing in really deep at the end of round one. If we see that, then hopefully Pandey takes the lesson that Dimitri didn't and chases.
Put pressure on him, yeah.
Straight down the middle, 1-2-1. That's a good combo, 1-2-1 or 2-1-2.
And Sahib had he had a 3-round fight yesterday, so that gas tank will definitely be tapping on.
Riyad Pandey prefers your approach, not to sit down between the rounds, in fact.
Yeah, it's something I never got used to. I think the problem for me was as soon as you sit down, all the blood. I'd preferred standing, maybe even walking or just bouncing on the legs, just to get the blood flowing, get the blood pumping. I always felt it just a bit harder to stand up again between rounds once I sat down. But Pandey looking pretty composed. He's breathing a little bit heavy, but he still looks okay. Sahib is breathing heavy, but he did have a real battle yesterday in terms of the fight that he had with Dimitri Fogg. So, doing this every day, 2 days in a row, heavy fights like that, is going to definitely take something out of you.
Not even having 3 rounds. I came out of just a little over 2 minutes to Jason Simbro, and then I had to fight Erman Smijic. And it was already different. Erman had a bye. He was a lot fresher, I can promise you. It's a day later. You're feeling the aches and pains. You're feeling that little niggle, a little sprained finger, the little things. Oh, great.
And all the shots that landed yesterday from Dimitri, those open palm strikes to the ribs and to the face, you'll still be feeling the effects today.
Absolutely.
There you can see Pandey still very light on his feet, still bouncing around. Sahib
Pandy
definitely
needs to-
slowed down a bit.
Pandy needs to keep standing and just made a cardinal mistake.
Keep tying him up. The ref has to stand you up sometimes.
There you can see Sahib working from that position. He's not really moving at the
He's
moment.
tired,
Pandy's
he's
definitely
tired.
tying him up. It's the right strategy here just to get the ref to stand them up.
Ref has to stand you up sometimes.
For me, there hasn't been any movement anywhere. You see Wade Henderson trying to assist.
Tied up. Tied up.
It's definitely not bettering the position or doing much damage. He's not moving into a half guard or anything else at this point. I think he's just securing the position. I think he's actually just resetting and catching his breath more than anything.
It's either that or Pandy. And look, Pandy's got a great overhook on that, and he's just let it go. As I said, that the commentators curse, but he had great overhooks, and Sahib had no right arm there, and the left arm will eventually get tired from doing all the work.
Tied up, Riyad. Don't let him get out.
Riyad needs to get back to his feet. He's winning the stand-up exchanges. Right now, he's losing both rounds.
1 minute 20 left, Riyad.
Again, it's that comfort on your back, it's not a bad thing in terms of being there, but it's not going to help you in terms of winning fights.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The worry here is that Riyad Pandy is capable of winning this fight, but is not doing enough to get back to that winning position. Now, Shoaib's clearly not going to let him do it, but he's got to find a way. His corner are talking. I'm not sure he's listening because I've heard 3 different instructions go. And again, I've been in that position. You don't always hear the corner.
And also, the striking from the bottom, yes, it might give you something as the fighter, but it's not going to win you anything with the judges, and
No,
it's
just
not
laying to
getting
your
you back
opponent.
to your feet. And Sahib doesn't have to move anywhere. He can stay in this position for the rest of the round, just win the round and move to the next one. And that's the problem that Riyad has here. He's the one that has to take the fight to him. He's behind on the scorecards.
We saw this in the Dimitri Fogg fight yesterday. The lay and pray tactic from Shoaib in the second round. Then he recovered for the third round. Riyad's allowing the same processes to flow through Shoaib at the moment. I think Riyad needs to come out of this round and he needs to go pretty much all of it against the wall for the last round. He's got to throw caution to the wind now, and he's got to come
He's
out
got to let
swinging.
his hands go because the kicks are just leading to him getting taken down again. He
Yeah.
needs to let his hands go. He needs to move. He needs to be light on his feet. And he needs to win this fight in the third round.
Shoaib has definitely recovered somewhat.
You can see he's not breathing as heavy as he was at the end of the first round. That
Yeah.
being on top and giving himself the time to recover is
Although-
definitely working for him.
Although, as he sits, watch his abs. There is a lot of air going out there. Where Riyad is not as much. Riyad has the ability to really push 3 minutes of all he's got. He then puts himself in a gold medal contention position.
But he has to keep it standing.
But he's got to get out there and finish this fight in the next 30 seconds. And finish fast. Hard and violent. Exactly what we used to with everybody else. We saw it with our Cameroonian friend, Durant. We saw it with Cody Barnwell. We
Yeah,
certainly
guys
saw it with
that are
Abbas
coming
Khan.
out in a hurry to finish the fights and finish
And
fights
we
quickly.
certainly saw it with the Baskan.
And Magomedov.
In fact, we saw it in every round, in every fight.
It's been great fights today. These guys have definitely come out and shown the intent. They know it's semi-finals day. They know they were only one step away from that gold medal chance, and they've shown that they want it. I mean, again, guys haven't just come here to fill numbers or guys that just want to be at the Africa Open to say that they were here. They've come here to win. They've come to prove points.
They've come to be heroes. They've come to be remembered. The Bahrain team, we know them by name. Tunisia's making their mark.
And there's the same kick again that leads to the same takedown.
For me, that has just cost him the fight.
Yeah, again, Sahib doesn't have to do anything other than just stay in the position he's in
And
now
he
for
knew
the
the
rest
body
of the
kick was
round.
coming. He knew the body kick was coming. You got a question. Was it the fighter's decision? Did his corner say keep it the same? I would have gone with the hands. His hands were winning. The kicks were, Jason, you called it. Use the hands, and he didn't. And a very, very dry kick. It wasn't hidden behind anything. It was telegraphed.
And
I
the
saw it
problem
coming.
with the kicks is they don't go back fast enough. So if you see them coming, you can grab them very easily. With the hands, it's a lot more difficult because you have to keep your hands up to keep yourself from getting punched in the face.
Very
Like
true.
you're not looking to see anything at that point. And that is where Pandy was winning the fight in the first round. He was winning it with hands.
Yeah, he was. He landed it well. Sahib didn't want to be there. Pandy clearly has power. Because for Sahib to go backwards after facing Dimitri Fogg yesterday, you must know it's a combination of yesterday and today, and it means Pandy's delivering the goods. But we're in a situation here where for the next 2 minutes, this is pretty much going to be the tone of the fight. Red Pandy's going to miss a great opportunity to fight for a gold medal because of that kick.
And again, Sahib doesn't have to do much else. You know,
No.
people will say that, you want him to do more. He doesn't have to. All he has to do is capitalize on what the work he's done in the first 2 rounds and win the third and go on to the finals day tomorrow. In a tournament style like this, you want to win a fight with as little damage and work as you can. And that's what he's doing.
No, so Shahab goes through to the final tomorrow to face Joseph. Same styles.
The winner of that fight is the guy who gets on top every round.
Or did Joseph not show us everything he's got because he didn't have to? Because I saw a little flurry from him with his hands. He's quick. I've seen some of his YouTube videos. He's very devastating.
And also the thing for Sahib is this is the second day he's gone 3 rounds. What will he have left by tomorrow?
He needs to go home and go to sleep now. So he needs to go to a nice spa.
A horrible ice bath, which we know about,
ice bath.
and a lot of sleep. If he's got a bit of weight to give, maybe a pizza and some carbs.
Maybe a lot of carbs.
And there you can see again, he knows that he's in the dominant position. He's not trying to do too much. Pandy's the one who has to work here. He's the one who has to get up. Those strikes are not going to win him the fight.
No.
He's not going for any submissions from the bottom.
This open palm striking thing, I've got to tell you, is misplaced at the moment in this particular environment. It seems to have become their
10 seconds left in the fight.
If he doesn't pull off a snappy knee bar or something, almost.
That's
got
what
the
he
arm
should have been
across.
going for through the round. And there you have it. That's the final for tomorrow. Joseph versus Sahib.
I've seen stranger calls. Let's wait for it.
Yeah, I think if this one went the other way, I would be more than just shocked.
After some of the refereeing in the last 3 years. But yeah, I think it's safe to say we're going to see Australia, Tunisia tomorrow. And deservedly so. This man went through the number 1 seed. He went through the number 1 seed from the other number 2 seed in the tournament. It was a great victory.
Very good
victory.
victory.
He brought the good fight.
And again,
but Red Pandy,
he
he
fought-
with that kick, doing nothing else.
he
no
fought
hands, no nothing.
intelligently. He did exactly what he needed to do, knowing that he was tired from yesterday. He had a 3-round war yesterday. He got his man to the ground, stayed on top, and won the fight where he needed to, and didn't take any damage. I mean, yes, he does look tired. He does look like he's been through 6 rounds, but there's no physical damage to him.
Well, he said it. He won the fight. He didn't need to do anything else. He won the fight. Doesn't matter how he wins it. He's got the W. He moves on to a gold medal match. Worst case scenario, he goes on with silver. For Tunisia, great result. Here we have the official announcement.
Your winner by unanimous decision out of the red corner, fighting out of Tunisia, Sohaib Dahmani. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for joining us. Let's give all of our competitors a big round of applause for the action today.
Jason, thank you. I'm looking forward to finals day. I think we've got some cracking finals lined up. Get you about 12 guys before 12 o'clock the action starts. I'm going to tell you, based on what I saw today, if you're not here, you're missing out on something amazing.
Catch us tomorrow at 12 o'clock for finals day. We'll see you there.